Some people call us fanatics, I consider ourselves enthusiasts. I'm KaijuNoir, and this is Shuwatch!
Super dynamic!
Ultra Force.
Go! Hello people of the internet, this is your host, Andres Perez, aka KaijuNoir. Here with me are my two co-hosts, David Joshua Hernandez, aka Gorizard.
How long has it been since I've been gone? Quite a while.
Quite a lot,
yeah.
actually. Yeah, I mean, that's always the case with you.
Yeah, nobody expected I'd be back. Now, that's chaos theory.
God damn it.
Chaos theory. That's chaos theory.
Fuck you, David. And last but certainly not least is Adam Noyes from Adam Noyes.
No, that is not my slogan anymore.
Oh, right. AP Production.
Oh, God damn it,
why did I say AP?
You
That's me.
motherfucker.
you might as well say AVP Requiem.
God damn it.
No. I was thinking AP. I was thinking it's probably a Freudian slip because all I can think about is myself due to my narcissistic tendencies.
It is now Adam Noyes of AN Productions.
So anyways, on to this episode. I want to start off my section where I want to talk about a particular aspect of the Godzilla franchise that I feel not a lot of people really give any sort of attention to, nor any real respect, I want to say. And that would be the human characters, the characters that the audience is supposed to identify with, and the people, to some, would be like the kind of subject where it's like without them there would be no story to the films whatsoever. And so I want to ask you guys, does it feel like a large portion of Godzilla fans, be it hardcore casual, simply like look over human characters?
I personally think so. I do, anyways. I don't know about David here.
I'd say so, because when I got into Godzilla when I was a kid, all I cared about was the monster battles. When I got Destroy All Monsters, every time, and this was when I was a little kid, I always fast forwarded through the human scenes just to get to the monster scenes.
I never found myself doing that as a kid, to be completely honest. Maybe it was because I was more patient because of the movies that I watched, and I'm not saying that as an insult at all. Please God, don't think I'm saying that. It's
no, it's all right.
The movies that I grew up with were different.
I never fast forwarded through the human scenes, although there were times as a kid where I would feel very impatient because, let's be honest, the whole reason why it is like pretty much a given fact where the reason why any of us became Godzilla fans was because we were more interested in the giant monster aspect of the films as opposed to the humans.
I know I had that with the original Godzilla versus McCandless, because Godzilla is only in it for 2 scenes. And there's hardly any monster action in it at all, really, until the very end of the movie.
Well, I would argue against that, where it's like, for that film, you would have Mechagodzilla disguised as Godzilla for a good portion of, like, say, the...
But then all of a sudden we have the rest of the movie with these human characters walking around, and me as that little derp of a kid that I have, that I was, got bored. And I remember having to suffer through watching those human scenes, waiting for the monster battle to show up, because I was so bored of what was going on, because I didn't care. However, now I want to slap that kid in the face and be like, dude, what's going on the screen is fucking awesome, but...
Let's see, I'm trying to think of a particular... You know what? That would be The Return of Godzilla. For me, I always thought because of the lack of giant monster action, I always saw... As a kid, I always saw The Return of Godzilla as being the most boring Godzilla movie, and because of that, I rarely watched it when it had that VHS.
Godzilla movie ever made, but whatever.
Right. David, what particular movie did you actually skip over because you weren't that interested as a kid?
Well, here's the irony, and to answer your question, Andres, that movie was Destroy All Monsters, but... Okay.
Right. Okay. You just mentioned that. Sorry.
but here's the ironic thing. The second Godzilla movie I ever bought was Godzilla vs. Biollante. Destroy All Monsters might have been my third. It was either that or '98. My memory's a little bit foggy between those two, but I don't recall ever fast forwarding through Biollante, which I probably should have because I'm not very fond of that movie now. If any of you see my old ass review. That's the word I'm looking for. My old ass review of it. I'm pretty
sure it will be. I'm pretty sure it will be easy to find, considering it's like one of the like few reviews you've done in the last 2 years.
Well, one of the originals that YouTube didn't fucking delete. But yeah, for some reason I always stuck through with that movie, and even now I kind of find it a tad bit lackluster. Well, not compared to Destroy All Monsters, because I still believe that Biollante has still more to offer in terms of characters and story than Destroy All Monsters.
Let me guess, was it like the cheesy 80s style action movies type of scenes?
That was part of the reason, because this was the late 90s, and VHS was like the rave at the time, so
right, because it kind of like let's see, I'm pretty sure VHS, it probably was like sometime in like the mid to late 80s where it's like it really changed the way people watched movies, where it's like they can actually own them, like own movies and watch them at home, as opposed to like watching them on TV or whatnot.
Yeah, and like you said, that whole 80s style action aspect of Biollante is part of the reason why it kept me, it made me want to watch the movie through and through, because at that time my mom had a roommate who had a collection of VHSs. Amongst them were like a bunch of Jean-Claude Van Damme action movies.
Cool.
And I would watch those every now and then, and when I would watch Biollante, it would be like, this is kind of like a Van Damme movie.
We're the real lethal weapons.
It is extremely strange for me that you asked this, because it's like, I grew up watching Star Trek. I grew up watching, which Star Trek is very human-driven in terms of its stories. I mean, I grew up watching epics. I grew up watching all of these movies that were very human cast-driven. So usually, the human stuff in Godzilla movies I never fast-forwarded through because of that. Because despite me being at a young age, I was accustomed to watching all this crap. I do remember King Kong versus Godzilla boring me. The human stuff boring me ridiculously. Except for the newscaster. I always remembered the newscaster in the American version of that film.
Now, with you growing up with Star Trek, were movies like Invasion of Astro Monster or Destroy All Monsters caught your attention due to their like space setting?
Invasion of the Astro Monster was actually one of the last ones I saw. It was one of the ones that I was dying to see. Luckily, it happened to play, I think, in 7th grade on AMC, and that's how I first watched it. Fell in love with it, of course. But Destroy All Monsters really had me going. I fucking fell in love with that movie when I was a kid. Then, I would pretend, I'd go outside and I'd pretend I was on, Venus, and I was on the SY3 crew and shit.
Yeah.
I used the back of a vacuum cleaner that broke. I kept the back as the laser gun.
Nice.
So I was, walking around with, this really big motorcycle helmet on, and I'd be like, I'm the SY3 captain, and I'm going to kick your ass, to, all these fake aliens that I created. I loved Destroy All Monsters, and still love Destroy All Monsters. So I definitely wasn't like David with Destroy All Monsters. I loved every second of that movie when I was a kid.
I think with Invasion of Astro Monsters, that was probably one of the very first times where I ever felt heavily invested in the human characters of a Godzilla movie, especially with.
I think Invasion of the Astro Monsters has genuinely good human characters. I
think
they have chemistry. They're memorable. They're funny. It's the right mix of seriousness, ridiculousness, and hilarity. So I think that's what makes a good character right there. And I remember the characters from Invasion of the Astro Monster. That's very important. Just like, I know you're going to kill me, Andres, because I know you don't like the human. I know you don't really care for Destroy All Monsters, but I remember all of the human characters from Destroy All Monsters. Not because of their characters, but what they did in the movie. I remember. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, I guess you can make the argument that a lot of their character, even though if it doesn't, you don't see it in dialogue, you can see it through their actions.
Right. And I love those kind of movies. I mean, I still want you to watch it, Andres, because the Andromeda Strain. It's like my old. It's like I say, bam. That's what I like in movies. If it's going to be plot heavy, be like this. I hold that movie up on a pedestal, being like, oh, look at this.
No, I know that this is not for now. So I guess it's my turn to make an opinion that's not very well shared amongst the Godzilla fan community, but I honestly really enjoyed Godzilla versus the Sea Monster. I mean, that was the very first Godzilla movie I ever saw as a kid, and it is a very human focus. Its plot is very focused on the human drama, with a bunch of reckless teenagers and a thief. They get stranded on an island, and now they're trying to survive against giant monsters and terrorists. And they meet infant islanders, and there's so much of kind of like a bit of like this exploration, kind of like adventurer or espionage sort of thing going on there, where it's like everyday people, not like reporters or astronauts or any sort of like people with pedigrees, but rather just everyday people just getting thrown into a fantastical world, I guess you can say. And that really did caught my attention. To this day, I'll always enjoy the human scenes from Sea Monster.
I remember first watching that movie. I couldn't sleep, and so I went out into my mom's chair in the living room, because that chair would always put me to sleep because it was so comfy. And that happened to be on AMC at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And so I watched it. And I remember seeing it and being like, that was fucking stupid. Throughout like 90% of it. And I wasn't that old either. I was in, I think I was in 6th grade when I first watched it. No, I was a little younger than that. I would have been 5th grade. And I remember being like, that was fucking stupid. But now I look back at Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster, and I have to agree with you, Andres. I find the film highly enjoyable. It's stupid, but I find it highly enjoyable. The characters are funny. They're all memorable. Especially
Akira. I would go with Akira Takarada.
That's what I was gonna say. Akira Takarada's awesome. Akihiko Hirata as the villain, as
anti-Serizawa. Being a Godzilla fan now, it's like there's no way you can see him other than like Serizawa's evil brother.
I would have laughed if they put the eye patch on the wrong side.
His name, he's Dr. Zarasawa.
I like it. Oh, God.
So, David, what were some of the very first Godzilla movies where you felt invested in the human characters growing up?
My pick is also the Sea Monster, but also the Japanese version for King Kong vs. Godzilla.
I hate that movie.
To this day, I still have yet to see the original Japanese cut of that film.
You're not missing anything. Don't find it. It's so bad.
Andres, why didn't you say anything? I would have brought the fucking movie to L.A.
That movie is so legit. Granted, the American version isn't much better, but it's so it's
goofy?
It's not funny. It's not funny.
Is it like one? Is it like one of those like kind of like, I don't know, going by modern day Japanese comedy? Is it just like majority of the quote unquote?
For a lot of modern day Japanese comedy either. To be honest, I think it's too in your face. While I like dry humor a lot.
Yeah, that's my problem with that, which is a real big problem I had with Deep Sea Monster Raiga. But it was the humor in the Japanese version of King Kong vs. Godzilla, more based on just over the top gestures and reactions and overly expressive behavior.
With the head of the news company Taco,
the mustache guy, right?
Guy. What the fuck?
Or Japanese Groucho Marx.
What the fuck? Ishiro Honda. I'm sorry, Ishiro. Senpai.
Yes, Adam-san.
You do great work. You do, and I highly admire you. But
thank you.
I just have to ask, Ishiro. May I call you Ishiro?
No.
Okay.
You cannot call me Ishiro.
Mr. Honda. What the fuck were you thinking when you made and wrote King Kong? When you made King Kong vs. Godzilla, because it wasn't funny.
I was not thinking at all.
But you had a bigger hand behind that movie than you did behind Terra Mechagodzilla, and Terra Mechagodzilla was a beautiful work of art. And then there's this piece of shit. Made in 1962. It was the third Godzilla movie.
I will be honest. Myria did that for vacation. They paid me to make a movie. I went on vacation. I forgot to write the movie, and so I had my talented brother do that.
Oh, so Barry Honda?
Oh, yes. Hey.
Barry Honda. Okay. You see, that explains everything, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it right here. Ishiro Honda was just resurrected from the dead to answer my question. Only on Shuwatch, ladies and gentlemen. Only on Shuwatch. Why more people don't watch this podcast or listen to this podcast, I don't know.
Hi.
Thank you, Mr. Honda, for being here. And now back to the show.
Now I will go back to the spirit world, where I will continue my game of chess with Eiji Tsuburaya.
He just like, he just like slowly dissipates into like mist.
Like you ever saw that footage of the Coachella that 1 year at Coachella 2 years ago that had like that hologram of Tupac?
Yes.
And then like he just stands there and then magically turns into like fairy dust.
Oh, you want to know what else would be funny? If it was a Ishiro Honda's head like in Futurama, like with Nixon, but it's
Oh, that would be rich.
So apparently, like, Ishiro Honda was like one of the nicest guys on the planet, and then all of a sudden you see him there, we make him like this complete dick and asshole.
Well, we kind of did that with Akira Ifukube.
No, we made his wife a bitch.
No, but
it was like, why don't you get off your lazy ass?
Damn it, Marie! Always with this. I'll make a score when I want it to.
Why don't you get off your lazy ass? You don't want to go make a fucking movie. Get off your
All right, I will. In fact, I'll write it right now. Well, I'll write it on the toilet paper while I'm taking a crap.
No wonder.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's how he wrote the score for Godzilla versus King Ghidorah.
Oh God.
La-da-ba-ba-da-bum. Let's see, where were we? David, you were mentioning Sea Monster, right?
Sea Monster and Kong versus Godzilla.
Right, okay, and then that's when we got into that whole debacle. Okay, so go on with the King Kong, your experiences with KK versus G.
Well, in defense on Kong versus Godzilla, I'm like, Adam!
Piece of shit.
The humor in the Japanese version, it feels so natural. And I favor the Japanese version over the US version, which... The humor just feels so like. Okay, let's say, you know, hypothetically, Adam. Hypothetically, the humor in the Japanese version for Kong vs. Godzilla worked, and let's say that the Americans tried to like build on that, but by making it more, let's say, over the top. Kind of like how with Iron Man 3, they try to build on the success of the Avengers by taking the best parts, and they just end up falling flat. Using that as an example. The humor in Kong vs. Godzilla, the Japanese version, it feels so natural. It doesn't feel like it's forced or anything like that. And it's more enjoyable. At least to me. Adam obviously is like, fuck you.
I feel like he's like, fuck you. I'm like, politely screw yourself. Because you don't know what you're talking about. But
the way you were reacting is almost like you were turning into Markiplier going, what? Oh
God. Oh, by the way, when we're recording this, it's Anguirus' birthday. So happy birthday, Anguirus.
Happy birthday, Anguirus. I'm glad in the, 50, 60 years that you've been around, I'm glad I got to see my face on your body, as weird as that sounds.
My God, Andres.
I'm glad to have been inspired.
Have I been a part of that or no? Yet.
I think he was working on it. No, he spent all this time. Andrew Blythe has been working all this time on Galvaran.
Oh, that was funny. I did laugh at that.
And then he did another one, a parody of Rodan, right? But I forgot who was that. But anyways, Now, what was I guess I think we kind of mentioned this. What was an example of a human cast or a movie where you didn't enjoy the human cast initially, but as you grew older, you started to appreciate them, or it was like, yeah, kind of like basically that thing where you grow older, you start actually you start paying attention to the stories of these films. You start remembering like characters and sometimes even like the names of these characters. That sort of experience.
I think for me that would be Godzilla 2014.
Wait, what?
Well, okay. Well, here's the thing. It's a little bit more stretched out by what you're saying. Because I seen the new Godzilla 4 times in its opening month. In a single month, I seen it 4 times.
As have I.
And every time I saw it, I saw a new thing. And even now, when I do watch it, when I get the urge to watch it again, I still see a new thing. And
well, weren't you invested from the very beginning when it came to that movie?
Well, yeah. Here's the thing. I was amongst the many fans and non-fans who believed that this was going to be as Bill refers it, the Godzilla, or the ultimate Godzilla movie, as
right, the be all end all.
Yeah, I was expecting that type of movie, and when I first saw it, I felt a little disappointed. But when I saw it a second time, well, what urged me to see it a second time was that I just had the urge to see it again. I don't know why, because when I left by my first screening, it was kind of a mixed bag. There was that same feeling I got when I first saw The Dark Knight Rises, and then when I went to go see it a second time in IMAX, I'm referring to Dark Knight Rises, not Godzilla. Then I was like, okay, I like it. It was kind of like one of those films where it demanded another viewing or a third one to kind of like find out your feelings for it. Kind of clear out the smoke. And so by the second time I did see it, I was like, okay, yeah, I really do like this movie. It is a good, not just a good film, but a good Godzilla film. And then I read the comments online, that it sucks because of this and that. I'm like, yeah, really? So I saw it a third time, and but the time I saw it the third time, I started looking for those things. I was like, I don't see what the fuck you guys are seeing. I'm seeing something else.
Kind of like the whole like blue, black, gold, white dress thing.
Some people say that they're
even though it turned out to be blue and black in the end.
Yeah, so I was right. Well, Godzilla 2014, it has characters, and some people were saying, there are no characters, they're boring and shit.
Well, no, Godzilla 2014 had characters. I just feel like they focused on the wrong characters.
Right.
I mean, the Godzilla saga. Godzilla and King Kong had somewhat of the same problem, and on this new rewrite, which is the finalized version, the finalized version, I promise, I'm not George Lucas. I almost
finalized 2.0.
I almost completely cut out a character from Godzilla and King Kong: The Battle of Earth, and his name was Alan Shepard, who was kind of the civilian point of view. I've almost completely deleted him out. Because it didn't feel like the movie should or the story should suddenly stop and go to him. It didn't feel necessary, so I cut it out. And a part of that was because he didn't fit. It should have the story should be focusing on these other people more than it should be focusing on him. And that was the problem with Godzilla 2014, in my opinion. I still really like it, and still consider it one of my favorite films of 2014, but it has its major problems.
I agree. I do believe Ford was probably like the wrong person to focus on, but I still believe there is a character behind him. I still think
yeah. The problem that I have with Godzilla 2014 now, in complete hindsight, is that they've been working on that for 9 years, and this is what they gave us.
9 years.
Well. Let's see. When was Godzilla 3D to the Max first announced? I was like, no, that was 2009. Yeah, that was 2000. Oh no, it was set for a release in 2009.
Well, that was a separate project though, and
but it was something that that was like the starting point that led up to, Godzilla 14.
Right, but it's not really the same movie because the same people who.
Well, actually, if you think about it, it started out with a vet. What was it, like a veteran firefighter from who was there during 9/11. So it also focused on him and his family, and him, most specifically him with his kid, surviving a Godzilla attack. So in the end, we kind of have that, like that patriotic hero who has experienced some big shit, and now he's going through like a even bigger shit
it's just,
with Godzilla.
Either way, this has been in production for a very long time, and this is really all they could come up with. And I'm like, they clearly had more ideas and other stuff. Reading that book that came with it, with all the concept art and stuff, that had some really interesting ideas in it, and they couldn't have gone with that. Really, you went with this. You went with something that has arguably some pretty goddamn big, stupid plot holes in it.
I will still. Now I notice that we're going into Godzilla 14 here territory, but I did want to say, how did you expect to go into that Nevada military base and not notice there was a giant gaping hole on one side of it?
That's one of my problems too. I'm like, how? Damn it! The guards had one job. One job.
Oh, what's going on here? Why is there light out of this door? Holy shit! There's a hole.
There's a monster.
Where did this monster come from? I mean, it looked very impressive, from a cinematic point, like from a cinematographer's point of view, but narratively doesn't make sense. Okay, but let's see. Let's try to get back on topic here. Okay. So when comparing different eras of different eras of the Godzilla series, that being, well, not counting 2014, we have Showa, Heisei, Millennium. Which do you think had the best written characters, or the most memorable characters, or the ones that were the most easiest to invest in?
One from Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah in 1991.
Mm-hmm.
Loved the characters in that, and the villains were wonderfully over the top.
Oh yeah. I think with the Heisei, there was I think I get the feeling that the characters during the Heisei series in general had a lot more to do in that they were being more direct. They were more directly involved in the plot, as opposed to being standing off to the sidelines and simply commentating over what is happening.
And then there was let's see, and I think it was you, Andres, who said that you felt like Miki Sagusa started getting kind of preachy. I think that was how you were.
Yeah, but
I personally really liked her character throughout the whole thing, especially in Godzilla vs. Destroya.
Well, yeah, she was definitely much better written. I just feel like, especially with Space Godzilla, that was like her.
I don't consider continuity. But yeah, I think the characters overall in Heisei series, including Return of Godzilla, by the way, I am going to say that, are pretty damn good. They at least do stuff. Another one there's two other ones that I really want to bring up from the Showa era that I love the human characters too. One is Mothra vs. Godzilla. The one from the human characters from Mothra vs. Godzilla, I think they were enjoyable. They were funny, but yet very serious at the same time. Very enjoyable. And that kind of transpires into Ghidra the Three-Headed Monster, but that wasn't the other one that I want to bring up. And the other one I want to bring up is the human cast from Son of Godzilla.
Yeah, they were a lot of fun. Like the last time I watched that movie, I can't remember when, but it was recent. I really enjoyed them, especially the
human cast from Son of Godzilla. They fit with that movie perfectly.
And I love that reporter who just pops out of nowhere. He's like this big nuisance.
There's my luggage. Go grab it. Hey, are you? Hey, are you cooking us these? Yeah. What are we going to do with them? I wash my clothes with that. Oh God, they're wonderfully written, absolutely hilarious. As much as I love Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster, the human characters in that aren't all that memorable. They really aren't.
Well, I guess the 70s in general just kind of had that problem. I mean, you did have a character like Katsura, who was very memorable indeed.
Katsura and Dr. Mifune were extremely two very good characters.
Yeah.
And hell, I love Mugan. Or is it Mughal or Mugan?
Mughal, M-U-G-A-L,
Okay.
Mughal.
I love him.
Yeah.
Hell, I love the villain in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla too. Hell, the cast in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla is pretty good. If anything, I've noticed that Jun Fukuda writes a very good human cast. And I think that all comes down to because he was good at directing comedy, and he didn't like Godzilla in general. So he said, fuck it, I'm at least going to make the characters enjoyable.
Like, hey, you, not Eiji Tsuburaya, you handle the Godzilla shit. I'll deal with the humans. What? He's like, my name is Teruyushi Nakano. I don't fucking care. Not Tsuburaya-san. You do that shit.
Story,
you do.
Jun Fukuda's story with Godzilla on that interview he did an interview a while ago. Was so sad. Just because of how much he did not care about those movies at all. And how much he hates the movies and how much he hates Godzilla. he did Megalon, right? he basically did all of them except Terror, right? Yeah.
All of them I mean the 70s.
All of them besides the Smog Monster and Terror.
Oh yeah, that was Bono, right?
Mitsu Bono, who I think should have directed more Godzilla, but fuck you, Tomi Tanaka.
Yeah, I just gotta wonder what was going on through. I really want to read that interview because I want to know what was going on with Jun Fukuda, what was going through Jun Fukuda's head as he was like filming that movie in like 2 or 3 weeks.
And he was like, I hated every second of it. He was like, these weren't my kind. Yeah, poor him. I'm like, if he was having it that bad, what was Ishiro Honda going through?
Oh boy! Well, what was Ishiro Honda doing during the 70s?
Did you know that in the 70s, Akira Kurosawa, after the flop of Dutskadan, he fell into such a big depression he almost killed himself. He actually tried to commit suicide, and Ishiro Honda saved him. That was in the mid-70s, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah. I just found that out, and I thought that was extremely touching. Because it was Akira Kurosawa who bailed out Ishiro Honda in the 80s. Because Ishiro Honda needed money bad. He was going to lose everything he had, and Akira Kurosawa bailed him out to be the assistant director on both Kagemusha and Ron.
I see.
The relationship is that is like the prime example of a good friendship right there.
Oh yeah, it's very touching right there. I did get your input, David, as to which human characters from which era do you believe are like the strongest overall, or which ones were the kinds that you enjoyed personally growing up?
I'm just gonna pick like specific characters. I'm not trying to pick on an entire cast. You know what I mean? But one of the characters that I really liked from the Heisei era, from Mechagodzilla 2, was I forgot his name, but for some reason I remember the name of the actor, Masahiro Takashima. He played the lead, the guy who basically pilots a Garuda.
Oh yeah, he was he was a decent character.
I just found that character very, very relatable because he was clumsy, and at the same time trying to.
He was the comic relief of that movie, hands down.
And he.
I guess he was kind of like the lovable idiot of that film. Well, it's like he makes mistakes, but he's well-meaning and tries to do whatever he can to prove himself as a capable fighter.
Well, my favorite sequence from Mechagodzilla 2 is when his superior officer tells him, "Your hobbies are pteranodons." He's like, "Yeah, you know what they are? They're small flying dinosaurs," and he makes the little hand gestures. Because I think
my favorite.
I fucking love that shit.
My favorite scene with him was the. When he was attempting to get that Caucasian actor, that Caucasian character, stuck in that whatever that turntable thing is. Yeah, the parking lot, so he can force him to look at his Super Mechagodzilla plans. Yeah,
his English is surprisingly fluid.
Yeah, for a Godzilla movie. You know, here's another character that I loved from that movie. I loved the guy who is like the head pilot of Mechagodzilla. Because he says this line when Mechagodzilla gets destroyed. Spoiler alert! When Mechagodzilla gets destroyed.
Mechagodzilla gets destroyed?
When Mechagodzilla...
What? No!
When Godzilla gets destroyed, the computer is saying, this unit has been destroyed, there are no survivors.
Yeah!
And he goes, well, you're wrong. I'm like, yes. and then there's that great line where it's like, organics will always dominate machines when it comes down to or a human soul or whatever. A soul will always conquer a machine. And then it's that great message that he gives at the ending that I absolutely fell in love with. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2 was a movie I hated when I was a kid, but fell in love with when I bought the DVD when I was like 13. Which I was still a kid, let's face it. But you know, when I grew older.
I mean, heck, we're all still kids at heart.
I can tell you what Godzilla movie I always loved the human characters from, and still love the human characters from. And Bill fucking hates this movie.
Wait, hold on. Let's see. It's not Sea Monsters, because I know he doesn't like that one. Which one could it be? Let's see. Which one we haven't really talked about.
This is a wonderful game.
Godzilla,
what he doesn't like.
Godzilla and Mothra, the Battle of Earth. He hates that
okay.
movie, and I adore the living shit out of that film. And I love the human cast in that movie. I enjoy the villain.
They're very unique for protagonists.
Right. I love the married couple. They still act like a married couple, and I was like, I genuinely thought they worked good together. I loved Mickey in the movie. I loved that Japanese scientist guy too, the one who goes to Mount Fuji and spots Godzilla coming out of Mount Fuji. I like the over-the-top villain. He's kind of like Taco, but not quite as over the top. I love his assistant there.
Yeah,
He's
definitely.
a very memorable character, and I really enjoy him.
Just this very kind of awkward businessman that surprisingly has capable survival training.
Right. You know, I find the human characters from that very, very memorable and very, very, very enjoyable. I remember even when I was a kid being invested in the human shit that was going on. I was like, these guys are funny. They make me laugh. There's the right amount of. That's another example of there's just enough comedy there to make you laugh when things get too serious, but yet at the same time, there's still enough serious shit going on that you're really, really invested in what's going on.
Yeah. I think one character I really like, but for all the wrong reasons, is the Saradia agent from Biollante.
Oh my god. Kiss you guys.
You guys! Damn! It's Godzilla!
In the fucking scene where the doctor there is trying to speak Shiragami's trying to speak English.
Yeah.
It's so painfully bad. It felt so bad.
Or you just gotta love the just acting from like, oh dear God, the acting from like the Americans are just so painful. Yo man, this ain't no beauty contest.
I would have been perfectly okay with actors like from the Japanese version of Gamera the Giant Monster. Calling fighter planes, everybody calling fighter planes. I would have been much better with that than listening to poor Shiragami trying to speak English.
Maybe that's why in Gunhead they just said, fuck it. Just have all the Japanese characters strictly speak Japanese and all the Caucasian characters just speak English.
I haven't seen that, so I'm not quite sure how that goes, but...
It's a mess.
Is it like
big
Star
mess.
Wars
And it's
mess? Because Star Wars can be a mess.
It's like... Fuck, man. It's really... I don't really know. It's like... It feels like a half-finished... it feels like a first draft script.
Well, it could have been like Latitude Zero, where all the actors learned to do their stuff phonetically.
That's the thing. I respect Latitude Zero for doing that.
Have you seen
I've seen that movie.
Zero?
Yeah, I've seen it and I own it on DVD. I saw it last year.
So bad because apparently it's one of those movies that's so bad it's good.
I wouldn't say it's so bad. I mean, it feels like right on par with whatever Toho made during that time. That wasn't like great, but it was like decent fun.
Joseph Cotton is like so wasted in that movie, and it wouldn't surprise me. I heard that apparently Cesar Romero just ate up the role. Hey, that wouldn't surprise me either.
But looking at Akira Takarada, I really respected him for the amount of English dialogue he has in that film. Whereas with Gunhead, it's like, you know, they made no attempt whatsoever. Just, you have English-speaking characters speaking English to Japanese-speaking characters, and both of these types of characters naturally have conversations speaking opposite languages to each other, supposedly being able to understand one another.
That happens.
So it was like, wait, if you're able to understand each other, why not speak one language to make it easier for each other?
Wait, you know Japanese and English? Yes. Let's just speak.
And let us. But I mean, I understand like technically why they had to do that, so that they didn't have to deal with the whole. I guess they were just didn't have enough time to do the whole phonetic lines or whatever. But it's just such a mess hearing that. It's just, it's very painful to, not painful, but it's like very disorienting to have to like switch between listening to the English audio and then reading the English subtitles, like going back and forth.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
But from what I hear, I think that is like from what one person I think commented on my video, he mentioned that that's like a common thing that they do even in like Chinese kung fu films, where it's like, you know, like when you ever have an American character there, they speak, you know, one language while the Asian characters speak another, and naturally understand each other.
All right.
But anyways, let's see. Back to the Godzilla human characters. I'm pretty sure, hands down, we know what the all-time greatest human character to have ever graced a Godzilla film has to be the corn guy.
I was gonna say Ichiro. But I was like, the corn guy is easily the greatest human character to ever come from any Godzilla movie ever.
I mean, we don't even need to know his name, the name of his character or his actor.
I remember watching that movie for the first. He's the only reason why I will watch Godzilla vs. Gigan again. Is the corn guy, because he must have thought it was a gun.
Thought it was a gun.
I remember watching that at my grandparents' house, and my grandmother was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, he must have been afraid of this. Well, when he just, like, as soon as that guy woke up, he was like, "Oh, it's you, crazy hippie gun wielding hippie guy." You guys still there?
I'm still here.
Oh, I thought you cut out.
Yeah, I was weird. Like, whoa, what happened there?
What's going on? I'm gonna die.
Chaos theory. You didn't expect that. Chaos theory.
I'm already getting sick of
Damn it!
goddamn shit.
Adam, you weren't even there, man.
When we got on the Jurassic Park ride, we just recited lines from all 3 Jurassic Park movies. Okay, I mainly did, but you guys followed.
Oh, see that random thing that just happened there? You know why that happened? Chaos theory. That was chaos theory. That was David all day.
Chaos theory. Come on, chaos theory.
That was chaos theory.
That's chaos theory.
See. No one would have suspected that Bill would have talked to that person. That's chaos theory.
I didn't anticipate that Bill would get the pizza and the chicken and the burger. That's chaos theory.
No, no one would have assumed that that Andres would roll up his pizza with French fries. That's chaos theory.
Now
A pizza taco.
Completely divulged from fucking human characters from Godzilla.
Right. That's right. Before we leave for the break, I noticed that none of us have even touched upon the Millennium characters.
That's because
but
there are no characters in the Millennium.
I mean, I would make the exception that GMK had some. What the fuck was that?
That was a motorcycle passing by.
David, were you so bored that you were like, "Fuck this," and you went on your Kamen Rider bicycle?
I wish.
He rides off in the distance like the ending from Tron Legacy with a bitch holding on his back. He's like, "Yeah, fuck this, fuck the podcast."
That should have been the exit for the section.
Semaru Shoka Kamen Rider.
Chaos theory. You didn't expect that. No, that's chaos theory.
Okay, that I will give you that one. That just came out how loud and clear that was. Please tell me you're still recording, David.
Yes, I am recording.
Okay, I'm really glad that we still. I hope to God that your mic picked it up as. Well, yeah, I did. Otherwise, we wouldn't have heard it. But
Andres pointed out back in LA that how he emphasized how random I am. Yet this was beyond my control. This was an act of the universe. This is true randomness.
Imagine your mom is like, you know what? I'm off, honey. I'm off. Gonna go spend the night. I'm gonna go hang out with my friends.
Oh my god.
Well,
Your mother's a biker. It's hard to. I don't know how to top that. So, okay, fuck the Millennium characters outside of GMK. Personally,
I like the characters for Final Wars.
I think that they had potential, but they didn't focus them on them.
Not in terms that I care about them. I just find them really, really enjoyable in a clumsy way. Especially the Exilian leader. There's this sequence in the Japanese version where where he yells so funny. He's like,
yeah, no, it's
I need somebody to dub over some Mark Hamill lines from the Joker over his performance. I think we have the perfect live action Joker.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, of course, we gotta talk about.
No. The great.
Fuck! Why am I forgetting his name?
Don Fry.
Don Fry.
That's the greatest character of the Millennium Era.
Don Fry. Here's what I love about Don Fry. Don Fry, they thought was so epic they didn't even bother to dub him over in Japanese.
Like for him, like even though I bitched about the whole language issue with Gunhead, I'll make an exception for fucking him.
Don Fry, you know, that movie, it fucking works. All the different languages, because it's like so fucking ridiculous anyways. It's like, fuck it.
There's two things you don't know about the Earth. One is that it has water. There's two things you don't know about the Earth. One is that it has water, and the other is oxygen.
I thought it was Ryuhei Takahashi.
Ryuhei Takahashi. Yes, that's true.
I still believe that he called the director that throughout the entire production, and Ryuhei Kitamura just went with it. He was like, fuck it, it's Don Fry. He can call me whatever the fuck he wants.
What's your name? E.G. Honda, whatever your name is.
Oh my god.
There's two things you don't know about sliding doors. One is that they slide, and the other is they're doors. No, it's revolving doors. Fuck. There's two things you don't know about ATM machines. One is that they give you money, and the other is they're automatic. Oh man, Bill, Dylan, and I had so much fun with that. I remember I was in that fight. He was just hitting me. We were just hitting each other silly. What do you remember from that fight? I don't remember any of it. That was a true American hero right there. I wish this was like the 80s, where it's like every badass super like actor, like super personality got to have their own cartoon, like Mr. T. I wanted a Don Fry animated series.
I wanted a Don Fry live action animated series. What the fuck?
What the fuck? Are you talking like you want like Don Fry interacting with Roger Rabbit or something?
That'd be awesome. Amazing.
That should be the sequel, because there's a sequel coming out that should be Don Fry.
Roger, drink the drink. I don't want to drink the drink. You do. Okay.
I fucking love that scene. He just shoves the freaking glass down his throat. Oh god.
Oh, and I do want to bring up one of my favorite villains. What was it? Katagiri from Godzilla 2000.
Katagiri!
Godzilla! Are you better?
Have we even brought up the original Godzilla characters?
No, but it's like
it's kind of like a cheating.
Everybody has fucking talked about them. It's like people have asked me. People have asked me to do a review for that. And I'm like, what is there to review? Everyone has fucking talked about it, and their brother.
mean, shit, Bill, well, like, did he make, like, a 2-hour review of that movie?
It was an hour. It was as long as the fucking movie. I'm like, at that point, I just do an audio commentary.
Yeah, I mean, even though I'm willing to do, I mean, at this point, Bill, back in, 2012, he reviewed every Godzilla movie and said all that there need to be said, but, like, sure, I'm willing to put in my 2 cents when it comes to certain Godzilla movies, like the Heisei era that I'm currently doing. But yeah, I plan on ever seeing myself ever reviewing or even really bringing up G54, because that is like that is the be all end all Godzilla film.
That is completely the be all end all Godzilla movie. It's perfect. I can't really say it's perfect.
I mean, it's probably like the greatest cast ever for a Godzilla movie, save for Corn Guy.
Now, I have to ask Andres, why is Ghidorah the three-headed monster your favorite Godzilla movie?
Mostly
and I'm not saying
due
that
to
be mean or
right.
anything. I'm just.
It's all right. Yeah, it is my favorite Godzilla movie, despite the fact that I haven't brought up that movie when it came to the human characters. I do like the relationship that the human characters actually have with the infant island, with the Shobijin. I really like that this movie has quite a strong continuity with both Mothra and Godzilla versus Mothra. I also, and again with Rodan, there's like this you can tell that this is like this. It kind of feels like the Avengers in a way, where it's kind of like building. This is kind of like a prototype of Destroy All Monsters, except there's actual continuity and like kind of like subtle references to what has happened beforehand. And I like the mystery aspect as to what happened with the princess, and these people trying to find out who she is and what happened with her. Who are these like Venusian / Martians? That's also another reason why I like the movie, because it like introduces aliens for the first time, but they're not alien invaders.
Aliens.
And of course, this is the movie where Godzilla made that switch from villain to anti-hero, and being someone who grew up with mostly the later Showa films, growing up with the heroic Godzilla. It was very nice as a little kid to always see that, this is the point where like Godzilla fights for truth, justice, in the Japanese way.
The Japanese way.
Yeah. Dun 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 dun.
Oh my god.
He just puts on a random ass cape and starts flying from fucking somebody like horribly CG's in a cape for when he starts flying, and Godzilla monster. Yeah.
See, you take Super Godzilla from the video game Super Godzilla and just put a red cape on him, random red cape on him.
Yes. All we need is a flying chicken, but we have Gigan, so close enough.
Oh wait, I remember this image that what's his name? Sid Part 2 Ian made. I'm going to share this link right here. It's just what we were talking about.
Yes. I don't know what it is. Yes. Still more colorful than fucking Man of Steel.
Man of Steel. You saw that video that's been going around the internet right today?
I have. And
I have
to say, I would be much more interested if that was fucking if the movie was actually colored.
Yeah.
What is the movie? I love the title where it's like the movie is in color, right? But all of a sudden it's like, what if Man of Steel was actually in color? And I'm like, oh my god, it actually looks good.
Like, I just realized, looking through it like that, the color the before and after, it's like, wait a minute, why was the grass even yellow to begin with?
No. Why?
What do you want to say, David?
I forgot.
All right. Well, I guess now is the proper time where we take a break for the moment. So enjoy the musical interlude as we get back with David's section.
Ding, fries are done, ding, fries are done, ding, fries are done, ding, fries are done. I gotta run, I gotta run, I gotta run, I gotta run. I work at Burger King, making flavor whoppers. I whip paper hats. Would you like an apple pie with that? Would you like an apple pie with that? Would you like an apple? Would you like an apple? Would you like an apple pie with that? Fries are done, ding, fries are done. I gotta run, I gotta run, I gotta run, I gotta run. Ding, fries are done, ding, fries are done. Wait for the bell, can't hear the bell. Where is the bell? Wait for the bell. Ding, fries are done, ding, fries are done.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
You're listening to it, aren't you? What was the first thing that we ate there? Was it McDonald's?
Yes, it was.
Oh wait, that was this. So the day that our car broke down, I'll get into that later, ladies and gentlemen. You picked us up, and then we got to our Motel 6.
Back to the
motel, yeah, which you threw a huge shit fit over like the whole room arrangement thing. Oh yeah, like on our way there, you're like, what? You didn't reserve rooms? It was like, it's Motel 6. They're always gonna have rooms.
I started panicking because that's fucking LA.
But it's LA. It's a huge city. There were like tons of motels. You know that we were gonna find a place eventually.
I thought you guys had a plan. I didn't think we were just gonna wing it once we got there.
And then that's what I told you. I think while I was driving, I told Bill to tell you, like, it's SOS. We always wing shit.
Yeah, but that's because of Bill.
Is this just a section? This should just be the
section.
Yeah,
this is the section.
This is SOS Goes Hollywood.
Because I doubt. Well, okay, Bill hasn't really talked about the
there's
Hollywood experience.
Version. There's the ghetto version of Ding Fries Are Done.
Oh, did you listen to the original
yes,
one?
I did.
You're like, Ding Fries Are Done, Ding Fries Are Done. But Bill hasn't barely mentioned the event on DFOS. Maybe we'll talk about it because all three of us are going to be there. But for for this, man, we basically wunged it. The only thing we really
guys, somebody mixed it with Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Oh my god!
Yes.
Oh my god!
Somebody did it! Somebody fucking did it! This better be in the goddamn intermission thing, Andres, or else I'm gonna fucking kill you.
This will be the first. This will be the first one. This will be the first interlude.
Listen to it. It's so epic.
Oh.
It's so
Go to like 40 seconds, David. Ooh, would you like an app? Ooh, would you like an app? Would you like an app?
Ding. Ding, friends are done. Ding, friends are done. Ding, friends are done. Ding, friends are done.
Would you like an apple? Would you like an apple? Would you like an apple? Burger King. No. I worked at Burger King.
I love the internet.
Oh, this is the greatest thing in history.
For all the stupid shit that the internet produces, it's things like this that makes it worth it.
This would be the theme song to the show from Shit Behind the Counter.
Yes.
The show would be called Shit Behind the Counter.
Shit Behind the Counter with Adam and David, bringing you all the dark secrets that McDonald's doesn't want you to hear.
I would love you
only
to do the narration to the show.
Oh yeah, only on AN Productions.
Oh, God.
Here on The Quiet Storm on Kixie 96.5. So anyways, yeah, I guess I'll just go into that where, let's see, it was Friday. Bill and I, we left pretty late because we decided to eat at an IHOP before actually going to LA. And during that time, David, he got to LA like 2 hours before we did, and so just Bill and I, we were just laughing, just like, because you were quite pissed that you were there waiting for us.
Yes, indeed I was, Andres.
Now tell us, did you wait in the lobby or in your car, or did you actually took advantage and waited in the room?
When I first got there, I started waiting in the car, and I put in $1 on the parking meter that I parked next to. I assumed you guys were going to get there in a matter of minutes, because apparently you guys were closer to me, based on the text that you niggas sent me.
Yeah.
and then it took a little while. 10 minutes passed, I'm like, where the fuck are these motherfuckers? So I end up calling Bill, and they're like, oh, dude, you're at the hotel? Pay for the room?
Right, and that we were going to pay you later.
Yeah. I was like, you haven't paid for the fucking thing yet?
And that's when you started freaking out about us winging heads.
So I go up to the clerk, and I have to pay $160, roughly around that estimate, for a two-bedroom thing for 3 people.
Right.
I'm beginning to suspect I got ripped off, because I think she charged me for 3 people. If I said 2 people, it would have been less, and we could have snuck Fat Bill in.
Oh, God.
No, let's be honest, man. We would be sneaking you in.
Me? I'm the one that got there first!
Well, I could just pretend to be you. Chaos Theory! Fat Bill! Hey!
Only I can do that perfectly, Andres. Alright, so I pay for the fucking room, and I go up there and I watch Adult Swim for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where the fuck are these dudes at? And just as soon as I'm about to call you, you call me. Bill calls me up and say, oh, dude, you wouldn't guess what happened. I'm like, oh, I ain't gonna...
Well, okay, it's before we do that, I just want to set up to show how, we got into some serious trouble when we got to L.A. And to perfectly quote The Hangover, remember, it's like the scene where Bradley Cooper calls the fiance. It's like, yeah, we fucked up.
That's the setup for the third TSS. That's the setup for the third SOS movie that we could have done with the $40,000 that Doug Walker and all of them just shit out of their asses and just wiped their asses with.
Oh, fuck that game show. Wait, hold on. I just want to know, David, have you seen Pop Quiz Hot Shot, the thing that Doug Walker and aka the Nostalgia Critic made, with the $90,000 that they received from fan donations?
No, I have not.
Have you heard about it?
I have not. This is the first I've heard of it.
Okay. First off, listen to the latest episode of SOS. Second, basically, Doug Walker, you probably know, the Nostalgia Critic, right? Okay, he and his company, Channel Awesome, raised $90,000 on Indiegogo, which is like Kickstarter, to create a game show, and they reached several stretch goals to make more game shows, at least 3 of them in total, and to get better equipment to film their shows. And so, almost 2 years later, almost 2 whole years went by, and they finally came out with the first of their supposed 40-episode series, and it's shit.
Yeah, it's shit.
Oh yeah, I didn't. Well, we recorded when we recorded the episode of SOS. We didn't even talk about the physical challenges. Remember
that show.
Adam,
Fuck that show.
The game show begins with the little plastic magnet fishes, all little All while the camera's like moving all over the place. And then the second one is just the second physical challenge is just them like drawing on paper, like going through a paper maze.
I don't understand how they spent $90,000 on this.
Allegedly, they spent 47. Technically,
Allegedly.
Technically, all right.
Still 47,000 for 5 episodes after almost 2 years of waiting, and it's shit. Anyways,
it's all covered in shit.
There's shit everywhere. But anyways, to get back to the what happened? What happened was that I was driving my 2000 Mustang. It's a pretty old car. It's refurbished, and it's just like every part of it is like new. Nothing's like original on that car. The reason why I got that. I got that car, but it was because it was a 4-seater, because I thought we were going to be using that car for the majority of the trip, which of course didn't happen because it fucking broke down in the middle of the 101 freeway in fucking downtown Los Angeles. So like Bill and I, we were stuck for like half an hour, or maybe like more like 45 minutes waiting for like the my AAA tow truck to arrive. Meanwhile, like, 2 cops came by. One cop helped us, like, push our car to the side. Another cop car came by. He asked us if we were all right, and we were. I was calling my dad. He was calling his dad because his dad's a mechanic. And, we're just trying to find out what's going on. And all this shit happened. And I just, I was like, you know what? That's to pay tribute to Adam. I screamed out loud, "Fuck a duck!"
Oh, so that's why I woke up in the middle of the night one night. Andres was having trouble.
Wait, so Andres, was the car literally on the road? I mean, stuck on the road, or
it was stuck on the fast lane of the freeway.
Wait, so you didn't manage to pull it to the side to like the carpool lane?
I couldn't. It just stopped because it was like really slow traffic. With the slow traffic, it's like you stop, you go, stop, you go. Stop, you go. Because, by the way, LA traffic, fucking horrible. So you like stop and go, and I realized that the car wouldn't go anymore. I was like, I'm fucked.
Oh, fuck a duck.
Yeah. So eventually, we were taken to the repair of the tow truck. It wasn't a tow truck. It was like one of those what do you call it? Flatbed trucks, I guess it's called, where it's like you pull the car and the car is like on top of the truck slide thingy. Yes. I don't know. But yeah, we went to the mechanic and we gave you the address, and then you finally picked us up, and yeah, man, it was a lot of fun after that.
A lot of shit.
I was really, I wouldn't say pissed. I was more like cranky because I
cranky.
Did not eat a fucking thing all day.
Why did you eat anything?
Because he spent all of his money buying DVDs. Duh. And thus this conversation has gone full circle.
Oh, I had money at that time. I spent a shitload of money at LA on very limited products that were just expensive as shit.
Oh yeah, but we'll get to Anime Jungle later. But so yeah, we eventually went to that to the Kevin Smith show, Hollywood Babylon, which we had a lot of fun with. For those of you who don't know, it was the April 4th episode of Hollywood Babylon. And I remember when we came out of it, David, you were like, well, first of all, yeah, you didn't know, you had no idea what to expect, and after you came out of that, not only did you loved it, but you realized just how much of our material, or Bill's material, is stolen from this show.
I'm all like,
yeah, Bill has no creative bone in his body.
The Liam Neeson dick jokes,
cock
the
joke,
fucking backwards hat, everything about that fucking podcast. SOS ripped off from
the running gag we have of Harrison Ford, senile Harrison Ford. Get off my plane. That sort of stuff.
I mean, after Hollywood Babylon, I could kind of see why Bill pursued SOS and why he continues to keep it alive. But at the same time, now I know what we rip off from.
Yeah. But hey, doesn't it make you happy to know that, there are people who do this for a living and make tons of money, meaning that there's hope for us?
There's hope.
Well, here's what I picture Bill doing in the future. You guys said that he made like a 2-hour-long review for Godzilla 54, right? I can
Yeah.
no, this is more like of a suspicious theory. Where
I
Bill
love
would
it.
go on Kick...
Illuminati confirmed.
Where Bill would go on Kickstarter and demand money, and he would say, just hear me talk shit for 2 hours. Basically an audio commentary.
I think I'm pretty sure there's a lot of Kickstarters that are like that.
If
There are a lot of people who, you don't know how many people abuse stuff like Kickstarter and Indiegogo.
Bill's gonna be like that. He's only gonna...
He's only going to get like $15 in
$15
donations.
and he's gonna ask for like
better than nothing.
$90,000 is what he's gonna ask for.
At that point, might as well go for a Patreon. At least you'll get $15 every month.
Anyways, while you guys were stuck at in the middle of the freeway, I was back at the hotel watching
Yeah.
Adult Swim, thinking that you guys were on your way, and then I was watching an episode of Squidbillies, which is 15 minutes long, by the way. So, 15 minutes pass, I don't get a call from these guys. Another episode passes, 15 minutes pass, I don't get a call from these guys. Sooner or later, 2 hours pass, I still don't get a call from these motherfuckers.
During that whole time, we were just laughing at both Bill and I were just imagining just what was going on with you. We were just imagining how pissed you were and then laughing about it. We figured that the first thing you're gonna say to us was "Hey!" or like "Ooh, you dirty motherfuckers." Funny enough, that's what happened.
Close. First of all, the first thing I said was, "Oh, look at these cunts."
Yes, I remember.
Oh, so he mixed it with something Adam would say.
So yeah, out like when you drove by and you passed us, but then like went to park at the corner of the block. And then we see this, like, this short, hairy little Salvadorian come out.
Fuck you,
and
Andres.
You're quite short, man.
I
mean,
think
you're so short, I could use you as an armrest.
that's what this motherfucker kept on doing on the entire trip.
I was just fucking with
he
you,
kept on
man.
using me as an armrest at McDonald's, at Universal Studios, at Hollywood Babylon, everywhere we went.
You realize that I would do the same thing, right?
I think
No, you see, with Adam, he would probably use David like a toothpick.
Well, from what Bill and Anders told me, apparently you and Dillion are like roughly the same size and weight.
We're fucking huge. We're fat. We're ugly. We're just perfect.
Anders, me and Bill were talking
Perfect
about if there was a War of Gargantua's thing, you would be Sonda, and Dillion would be Gyra. And
that
then
would
Bill,
be fucking awesome.
because we were talking about the size of you guys, so I was like, wait, this is a War of Gargantua situation.
Although it would just be two guys, instead of roaring, they were just like... a lot of heavy breathing.
Whenever breathing intensifies.
Whenever we hit each other, it would just sound like a thap.
Anyways, while I was still waiting at the hotel, I was considering just going out and getting something to eat, but I didn't because I was afraid I was gonna get lost and not find parking. So I considered getting room service.
Although we were parked. Or not parked. The Motel 6 was right on Hollywood Boulevard, which there was a big old McDonald's there, which we eventually ate at.
I did not notice that until we started walking down Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah.
So then I considered getting room service, but then two factors prevented me from doing that. One, the fucking food was expensive as shit, like so bad. $10 for a single burger.
Fuck,
$40 for a rack of ribs.
What?
Oh my god.
No.
$6 to $8 for a cheesecake, which I was so tempted. But here's the second factor that prevented me. I didn't know how to work the phone.
Oh yeah. was so brilliant because the phone was so easy to use. The instructions were right there on the phone.
I got confused, Andres. I was like, I'm hungry. I don't want to think. I just want to get something in my belly.
For fuck's sake, David.
So I had to starve for an additional 2 hours.
It's like outside of kaiju stuff, you are pathetic. There's no way you could ever make it in the real world.
That's why.
And this is coming from me, man. I am guilty of that myself, but for God's sake.
Well, you know, there was a McDonald's down the street. I just didn't know it. Doesn't your phone have like a GPS system or something, or Google Maps or Apple Maps, whatever the fuck? Yeah, I said, Siri, look up a McDonald's nearby, and then it just said something kilometers away. I'm like, I don't know how far that is.
You're supposed to go get directions at that point. Like, it gives you the little, here's where McDonald's is. All right, give me directions. And then it'll tell you how long it takes to get there. I got lazy. I was like, might as well wait. Again, for fuck. Again, for what? No.
Yes. Yes.
Now I want Mark Wahlberg to actually say that. What? Yes.
All right.
But let's see. So yeah, we did Babylon, and then the next day we went to Universal Studios. But before that, we went to Anime Jungle, and it was looking at David's face at Anime Jungle, or no, in Little Tokyo, it was like watching like a fat little kid at a candy shop.
Here's the Andres kept on making these weird fucking cautious approach. He thought.
I thought that this guy was going to get us arrested.
Oh yeah, there were plenty of moments where he thought we were going to get into some shit, because
David here, he just wouldn't stop with the whole...
I said it was a yawn.
No, that's not a yawn.
What the fuck is going on?
No, only on. Nobody heard me. Just Bill and Andres. And also,
yes, but I was like, I don't know this guy. I don't know this guy.
And there were also moments where I kept on cussing at random people, but not directly at them, from the comfort of my car. And Andres was all like, "Don't do that," because
like, at least do it with like the windows up.
Well, I was doing it with a low voice. I was trying to pull out of the parking lot, and this guy just walks across.
Oh yeah, you did that. I was like, "Dog, shut up!"
I was like, "Crazy cocksucking motherfucker!" But I was doing it under my breath, and somehow,
I want you guys just to imagine David just like, "Yeah, fuck this guy." Yeah. He's like the angry little driver. He's like, "Yeah."
I really wish I was there. Wait, David, are you going to G-Fest?
I'm still uncertain about that. More than likely
not. Fucking DVDs you keep buying.
That's one factor.
For fuck's sake, David.
Another thing, Andres kept on thinking I was gonna catcall people. First of all, Andres, I don't know how to whistle.
That's what you were doing with the whole.
Oh yeah, when they weren't looking.
What the fuck was that?
That was an exaggeration of what David did most of the time in Little Tokyo. Oh, but anyways, Anime Japan was like
Anime Jungle.
There are only like a few locations in Japan, and this was the only location here in America where it's just like everything Japanese, where it's like action figures, posters, DVDs, mangas, animes, whatever. Body pillows, shockingly enough.
Oh,
to quote JonTron, every time I walk past like a body pillow or like a figurine of a underage busty anime girl, I would be like, I'm scared. I'm moving on.
I was happy and pissed at the same time. I was happy because, well, it was a...
You were in
heaven.
heaven.
I was in heaven, but I was pissed because this fucking place is located in Los Angeles. I'm like...
Da da dun da da dun da 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 da.
I would have bought more shit too if it wasn't expensive.
Oh yeah, well, it's all of that shit's like import stuff, so of course it's gonna be expensive. But at least it would be a lot cheaper than say like eBay or whatever, where you have to like go through like bid wars or have like already have like a $300 price tag and everything. But yeah, from there I got the I finally got my hands on the Jew Ranger on DVD. I got Johnny Sacco and his flying robot, aka Giant Robo, and I also got Kikaider Reboot. Yeah, that's actually the name of the movie, Kikaider Reboot.
Andres paid $25 for that DVD. I paid $40.
That sounds like the most pretentious title ever. Like, that's even more pretentious than "You Cannot Redo."
At that point, it's like, the Japanese, whoever came up with that title, it was like, you know what, fuck it. It's a reboot. It's a reboot. It's called a reboot.
Well, the end of the movie says Kikaider reboots, meaning, he reboots himself or something like that. But I don't know.
Well, they did hint at a sequel.
They hint at a sequel.
They hint.
What the fuck just happened?
I don't know. I'm just making fun of David's apparent accent all of a sudden accent. Well, I forgot. So what was it that you bought, David?
As depressing this will sound, I only bought 2 things from the fucking store. I bought the Bandai vinyl for Godzilla 14, which was an import from Japan, costing me $25.
Right.
Then I bought this Ultraman Great figure, which is small.
You were so proud. You were so proud of getting Ultraman Great in particular.
It was so rare to find. If they had.
But didn't like the guy on Facebook on Toho Nation was like, actually, it's not that rare, really.
Actually, so he pulled an Andres.
He directed me towards like a fucking website. I'm like, son of a bitch.
But it's like, even if Ultraman Great, sure, it's an Australian Ultraman. It's not any one of the popular Ultraman out there. So I can see where you were coming from. But wouldn't you rather have had like a figure of like your favorite Ultraman or something like that?
Here's the thing, they had Ultra 7, they had Ultraman 66 and Tiga, but the thing that was running through my mind was like, I'm never gonna find Ultraman Great anywhere else. I mean, the ones that I just mentioned, Tiga, 66, and 7, they're mainstream. I mean, with Ultraman aficionados like me. Great is like something that it's an incarnation that's overlooked. Him and Ultraman Powered, they're overlooked.
So you're willing to purchase a figure of an Ultraman from one of the worst Ultraman shows ever.
It's not one of the worst.
Before getting a figure of 66 and 7.
First of all, Ultraman Great was not bad.
I meant Powered. I was referring to Powered.
Well, Powered was fair. It was decent.
It sucked.
It was fair.
Smells like balls.
What?
A Birdman reference.
Okay. I still haven't seen that movie, and I feel really guilty for not seeing it.
But yes, Andres, yes.
You should, you son of a bitch.
Yes, Andres.
Oh boy, yeah. Oh yeah, and then when we were at Universal Studios, there was a comic book shop there, and you bought another Godzilla 14 figure.
This was the NECA figure, which I've been meaning to get, but I've been putting it off because I was cheap. But it was right there.
Yeah, but why would you get 2 of the same Godzillas?
I got the one that I got at Anime Jungle was the vinyl figure.
Right, but why would you have a vinyl figure when you got when you were searching for a fully posable one?
Because same thing was running through my mind. I wouldn't find this ever again.
But it's NECA. They're fucking everywhere. You can go to a Toys R Us and find a NECA Godzilla figure.
Well, here's the thing.
This is fantastic.
I had the opportunity to buy a NECA Godzilla figure a while back, but I chose not to get it because I thought it was going to be there next time. When I went to go get it, it wasn't no longer there. This was a year ago. So I felt like when I saw it there at the comic book shop, I was like, this is a sign from the universe. Kind of how like they gave an Oscar to Jimmy Stewart for that one movie he was in, but it was really for Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
That one movie he was in?
Was it Singing in the Rain?
He's not Singing in the Rain.
Well, you know what I meant. You know what I meant.
God.
You know what I meant.
David, you never cease to amaze me.
It was quite a trip hanging out with him in person.
I know. But I must never be crossed, Andres.
See, the boat has already sailed because I have crossed you far too many times out of pure enjoyment.
You motherfucker.
David, you know I do it out of love, man.
I do it because I absolutely fucking detest you.
Is that the reason why we had to
honest.
share? Is that the reason why we had to share the same bed, Andres?
You suggested it, motherfucker.
Wait a minute. So Bill and I get gay fan fiction, but this shit gets away with fucking murder.
You know what? I will freely admit, because being a heterosexual male who is very comfortable with my sexuality, I will freely admit it was not as awkward as you would think sleeping in a bed with him.
Sure. When me and Andres got to
Andres
talking.
is just insecure about his sexuality and secretly enjoyed snuggling up to David and David slowly snuggling back. And it was really cute, in all honesty.
Well,
Sure.
Yeah, if you think this sounds cute, like
Jesus, one of the worst sleeping experiences ever. Jesus, cheese and rice.
you could just sleep in the bathtub or whatever.
Fuck. The fucking thought didn't occur to me. Shit, that would have been a good idea.
The images going through
You
my
gotta
head
close
right
the door, man.
Well-
Oh, the door thing you did with Bill,
Oh, that.
where Bill was in the shower and you kept knocking on his door.
Well, I did that with everybody.
On the bathroom
I did that with
door.
everybody. It's a force of habit.
You were like, hey.
No, I was like, no, I kept on knocking. Bill.
Yes. Oh, but well, the funny thing was I forgot to turn my alarms off. Because I have.
Oh, Andres.
I am
I-
loving
because I
this
have-
story. Keep on telling.
Because I have very early morning shifts. You know, I have the morning shifts where every day I come to work at like 5:30 in the morning. So I have a series of alarms to to wake me up. Like one at 3, one at 4, one at 4:30, one at 5.
What?
And so I forgot to turn off all of them. And I guess I was a heavy sleeper just that one night because David heard them all. And surprisingly, right from the get-go, he found out the 4-digit combination to unlock my iPhone.
Guess what it was? 1954. That's the first thing.
Shitting me. My god.
That's the first thing that came to my mind. I'm like, could be his birthday.
I'm the guy who's like, it'll be too easy to remember this shit for like some crazy fan of mine to discover this shit. So I always put 1955. Just
Well, my first thought was it could be his birthday, and I was about to put that, but then I forgot. Well,
But he did. Of course, he doesn't know my birthday.
then I put the
well,
next.
neither do I, Andres. Granted, and I apologize for that.
So then I put the next possible thing. I put 1954, and if that doesn't work, I'm gonna put 1966 for Ultraman because he has a fucking wallpaper of Ultraman on his phone, and the first one worked.
Yeah,
1954. I'm like, son of a bitch, it worked. And I turned.
And then he had to keep. Wait, did you turn them all off at the same time, or did you went back and deactivated every single one?
I deactivated every single 100. No. But here's the thing.
All at the same time, or just like you kept going back to the phone?
All at once. Once I hacked your phone. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
They,
it's not hacking. People, stop calling it
it's
hacking.
hacking.
It's
It
not
is
hacking.
But here's the thing. Before I got fed up and decided to hack your phone, I had to experience it 4 times. Because I thought you only had... The alarm was supposed to go off only once. And before I did that, I just had to do the slide thing on your phone, and it would stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure. I assumed that's what it was gonna stop it.
You assumed wrong.
Then 30 minutes later, it went off again. I'm like, oh wait, that's probably the snooze thing. So I was like, oh okay, this probably is gonna go on for like a little bit. I'll deal with it.
You
it goes on.
like a terrible, terrible house guest.
Oh, I am. If you guys ever come here, I'm gonna be like, just watch TV.
You told me that one time. Like, he's gonna forget that we're even at his house. He's like, here's my room. There's some video games. There's a bed.
Oh, don't feel bad. That's how I treat my regular friends. While I'm on the computer, they either play on my fucking PS3, 4, Xbox 360, or watch TV, or sometimes they browse through my porn, and I don't even care. All right.
So, anyways, continue.
Anyways, okay. So the alarm keeps on going off every 30 minutes, and I finally get pissed, adding on top of Bill and Andres' annoying snoring. So I finally hack into his phone, turn off all the alarms. What really surprises me is that he has an alarm every 30 minutes for every day. And since I couldn't go to sleep, I kept on trying to think, what are those alarms for? Isn't he awake by the first alarm? And if he is, why does he need the second, third, and fourth, and sixth alarm?
Just for secure, just as what would you call it? For not security, but it's like just to make sure. I always do. I made multiple just to make sure, like in case I slept through one, that eventually I hear the next one.
Oh, Andres, you couldn't turn it off before you went to bed. You had to play Godzilla Raids again before you went to sleep.
That was Bill, you stupid idiot.
You set up the Netflix. It was under your account.
Because they asked me to.
But you had no idea that, my alarms are still on. Should I turn them off? Oh, nope. God. I only slept for 2 hours, possibly 2.5 hours that night. I swear to God.
Which could have been avoided if you slept somewhere like in the bathroom.
Well, two things could have been avoided.
Fantastic. This needs to happen more because this is fantastic.
No, if we ever meet again, I'm getting my own fucking room. I ain't sharing one with you guys. I need my sleep. And
apparently, I'm like the only one of the SOS group that doesn't snore.
Yeah, because Dillion, he snores as well.
I know Bill does.
And since I was up in the middle of the night because of these two motherfuckers, I was gonna text.
It's like a symphony, like.
No. I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to the pattern of the snoring, because while I was up in the middle of the night, I was really considering texting Dylan, and I was gonna ask him a serious, legitimate, honest-to-God question. I was gonna ask him, how the fuck did you sleep with these two motherfuckers in the same room?
Truth is, he didn't.
And then I later found out that Dylan's probably worse, so Andres and Bill probably didn't sleep. Or since they're heavy sleepers, they probably didn't notice. Anyways, but here's the thing that really pissed me off about their snoring. There was a pattern. For 30 minutes to an hour, Andres would snore.
A pattern.
Yeah, for an hour, Andres would snore.
This is too fucking rich. This is too fucking rich. This is too fucking good. This is... This has to be made into like some sort of skit. This has to be a like.
Or someone needs to draw a webcomic feature.
Of what the fuck is going on? I can just picture Dave like trying to sleep. He just falls down. All of a sudden here. Make an
farting,
or you hear somebody snoozing, and Bill. The entire skit revolves around David trying to fall asleep amongst this fucking chaos. Add in Andres maybe farting a little bit, and he has stinky Mexican farts.
Honest to God, he did fart in front of me, and I flinched, and I got up. I was ready to say Andres, and I'm like, oh wait, he's asleep.
Because I was like the way we were sleeping, I was like what do you call it, in the reverse, where it's like if we were sleeping like next to each other, my feet would be next to his head, his feet next to my head, that sort of arrangement.
This is what I thought was going to happen.
Here's what I'm thinking. I think the SOS crew should stop trying to get together and just remain doing podcasts, because clearly we're not meant to be together.
Here's how I thought the sleeping arrangement was gonna get between me and Andres. I thought we were gonna sleep ass to ass.
Yeah.
Ass to ass.
That's how I thought it was gonna be. Couple style.
Instead, you guys slept in a 69 position, which isn't much.
No, reverse. Okay, that's a reverse 69.
But every now and then, Andres did turn around. I'm like, oh, you motherfucker. Oh God, never again! I swear, never again. Am I sleeping in the same room with you or Bill?
Oh my God. You might
that,
hate me too. So.
And with that, I feel like that this is an appropriate end for the recollections of the insanity that went on in LA.
And we'll talk about Universal Studios on SOS. Because
yeah, sure, we'll definitely
Bill
talk
has to
about
tell
that.
his side of the story too.
Oh, yes, definitely. So we'll be right back after the break. What musical interlude we'll have this time around? I don't know. Maybe Kaider theme song, whatever. Who cares? See you guys.
ヘドラヘドラヘドラヘドロの中から生まれたヘドラトンボも鳥も皆殺し空も野原も全滅だ全滅だ空飛ぶ円盤怪獣ヘドラ硫酸ミストが雨あられ光るヘドラの熱線銃走るゴジラの放射能頑張れ頑張れ僕らのゴジラ頑張れ頑張れ僕らのゴジラヘドラヘドラヘドラヘドロの中から生まれたヘドラクジラもサメも皆殺し海も魚も全滅だ全滅だオタマジャクシの海中ヘドラタンカーバッサリ真っ二つ光るヘドラの熱線銃走るゴジラの放射能頑張れ頑張れ僕らのゴジラ頑張れ頑張れ僕らのゴジラヘドラヘドラヘドラヘドロの中から生まれたヘドラ獣も人も皆殺しビルもタワーも全滅だ全滅だ四つ足カエルの怪獣ヘドラヘドロの弾丸猛毒だ光るヘドラの熱線銃走るゴジラの放射能頑張れ頑張れ僕らのゴジラ頑張れ頑張れ僕らのゴジラヘドラをヘドラをやっつけろヘドラをヘドラをやっつけろやっつけろ
Hello, everybody. This is Adam Noyes' section of Shuwatch, where the next 30 to 45 minutes of your life, I will have complete and total control. Unless you shut the video off. You know, that could happen too. But, anyways. For my section of Shuwatch, I would like to discuss with Andres here, since David had to leave because he has to work early in the morning. I would like to discuss films that were going to be made, but never were. And these films can range from little projects to big projects. The three that I really want to talk about are big projects that I always wanted to see but never could. I always found this topic to be very fascinating, and in case you guys are wondering, yes, this is just like a section on pre-SOS show ZGC monthly reviews, where we had a section called Lost, Found, but Never Filmed, which was we discuss movies that were put into production but never actually made. And so, let's get right on into this, Andres. Which one did you have, Andres? I'm curious.
Okay, so for the first one actually was, I wanted to bring it up due to the recent review I've made of the film Gunhead. Now, for those of you who don't know, Gunhead actually started life as a script for a Godzilla movie, where, if you know the story, if unfamiliar, Toho had a contest for people to submit their own scripts for Godzilla 2, the sequel to 1984's The Return of Godzilla. And even though Godzilla, the initial script for Godzilla Violante was eventually chosen, the script for Godzilla, the runner-up for Godzilla, the runner-up script, for Godzilla 2, ended up being turned into the film that we now have, Gunhead. And basically, the premise for the Godzilla 2 was that it was basically Godzilla versus Skynet.
Now that sounds fucking awesome.
Yep, pretty much. Just like there's Godzilla apparently in the distant future fighting against a supercomputer AI system that has like an army of giant robots and machines, and just goes all out against Godzilla. Nothing much is known beyond that. Like nothing much else is known about the film, about the script beyond that. But if you look at Gunhead, the AI system, or that very Skynet-esque system, I already forgot what it was called. Chiron 5, I think that's the name. It's still there in the movie. It's still has that Skynet presence of wanting to wipe out all human life on Earth because it thinks it's obsolete, and uses giant robots, or a giant robot, in this case the Aerobot, to help it or achieve its plans. The Gunhead actually being created specifically for the film, not for the original Godzilla 2 script.
That has always made me curious, is checking out all of these unmade Godzilla movies. Like, the one that always captured my interest the most wasn't the one that everyone thinks of, which is Godzilla vs. Bagan. That's usually the stereotypical one that people go to, but mine was always Godzilla versus the Devil.
Actually, when we were in LA, we met up with one of my fans, and also incredibly talented artist I've already mentioned on the last episode of SOS, Enshoma. From what he told us, because he has quite a lot of knowledge on this sort of hidden, he kind of does a lot of research on these hidden, never made projects. And apparently, Godzilla vs. the Devil was never actually a thing. I mean, I guess it was kind of like the whole rumor of a Godzilla vs. the Devil was kind of like a he said, she said sort of deal that eventually turned into this rumor that at one point Toho was actually discussing a Godzilla vs. the Devil film. But I guess there was never really a concept that was pitched to the studio.
Yeah, but to me, the idea still is awesome. But
now we actually. No. Now I was going to say, now we actually have maybe we'll have a Godzilla vs. the Devil with the upcoming IDW miniseries Godzilla in Hell.
I want to read that so bad.
Oh yeah,
it's probably going to be like the Godzilla creepypasta.
Ooh yeah, or maybe it's what do you call it?
Like the Godzilla creepypasta, it's going to be awesome, because I genuinely believe that take the guy out of that story of the creepypasta. Take the human guy out of that and just focus on Godzilla and everything. I think we got a good story going on here.
Yeah.
Godzilla,
And
Mothra, and what was the other one?
Anguirus and
this is the dimension they're thrown in. They're like thrown in this hellish area.
And they team up with the rebellious demon Solomon against the evil Red.
Yeah.
Still the best, 1972. God.
That would have been that idea to me sounds like the makings of a good Godzilla story.
Yeah. Or it's like, basically Dante's Inferno with Godzilla.
Hell to the fucking yes.
So then who would be his Virgil? Dr. Sarazawa?
I was thinking more of like another kaiju. Oh no, never mind. I was going to say, who would be like a really good, if it was in Heisei continuity? I want you to imagine this. Godzilla gets sucked into hell. This is Godzilla's hell. And who's leading him around?
Yeah.
His son.
Oh.
Deep shit here. But I...
Well, wasn't his son alive at the
Shut
end?
Up.
Shut up!
We both just said shut up on the same time on my end. But I think the idea is fascinating. But Godzilla vs. Skynet, that sounds badass.
Although it is. I mean, I can see how they would time jump from 1984 to let's say to the distant future with Godzilla being asleep or in some sort of hibernetic state in Mount Mahara for all that time.
But it would have been interesting to see if that movie was made where the Heisei series would have gone.
Oh yeah, to just go all super futuristic and stuff. Basically, to have it take place during the night. What was it 2205 or whatever? Whenever King Ghidorah took place.
Dude, it would have been like my Godzilla saga.
Or kind of like Evangelion. It's also kind of like that distant future-esque sort of thing with high-tech machinery.
Maybe not quite as fucked up as that, but
right.
Though apparently with the script that because I watched your review for Gunhead, was that what it was called?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to say that because it sounds too much like Gundam, and I'm like I don't want to say that. But when I saw your review of Gunhead, it sounded like the script was really kind of lackluster, and I would be wondering if what would have been the case for this Godzilla film.
Possibly. Maybe they still would have had those very lackluster mercenary type of characters, and then try to add kids in because kids, you got to have kids in your monster movie or your action adventure movie. And then, there's a whole, language barrier sort of deal going on there. So, maybe it would have been, crap. But
I'll be honest, the premise for Gunhead fascinated me.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I mean, again, I mentioned this before in the review. Very Terminator mixed with a little Alien. And I know, for some reason, I kind of saw a bit of Escape from New York only because of the characters, what they wear, and it's kind of like this a post-apocalyptic sort of desolate area, and just people being flying in and being trapped there and not have to get to a rendezvous point. Kind of, that's why it kind of reminded me of Escape from New York a bit, but mostly
Escape from New York was popular. It was very popular in Japan. It was a huge hit, so that didn't surprise me at all.
But again, I guess it's mostly with the whole aliens, with the whole mercenaries coming in and then getting picked off one by one, and obviously Skynet for obvious reasons.
Right.
But it is an interesting combination to make something interesting out of that.
Yeah, I could see the potential for some awesomeness.
Yeah. But anyways, what would be something that you would have liked to have seen had it been made?
Well, lately, I've been on a Dune binge ever since I got this epic fan edit of the movie. Because before you had the theatrical cut, then you had the extended cut, and both versions were heavily flawed. While this fan edit actually fixes, there's still flaws in it, but that's nothing that the movie can't fix because of production issues. But it fixes a lot of the problems that it has. It almost completely rearranges the movie, and it works pretty damn well. I started research on the infamous Jodorowsky's Dune. that he was going to make in 1973. And the reason why I wanted to bring this film up is because it influenced so much sci-fi shit that happened in the 70s. Without this, we wouldn't have the look of Star Wars, we wouldn't have the look of Alien, we wouldn't have the look of Star Trek, we wouldn't have even Terminator. Those are big movies that came out of Dune. They came out of his Dune.
From the book?
No. That came out of the making of this movie, Dune. That was never actually
made. Okay. So were there like production designers and artists that just left and did their own thing?
The biggest one was H.R. Geiger, who did all the artwork for Alien. He worked on it, and it even had actors signed up for the list, like Orson Welles, and even David Carradine was signed up for it. And it was going to have music by Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd actually started writing music for it. But the movie just, for some reason, fell apart. It literally went to the early 80s, but then all of a sudden Dino De Laurentiis came in and rebought Dune, and thus came up and made the 1984 film Dune, directed by David Lynch. So this movie just kind of fell apart. But I have never before seen a movie go so far into production and then suddenly have it shut down completely. Like, not even Roger Corman's Fantastic Four. Because they actually made shit. Here, there was like nothing. Like, suddenly it just stopped before filming actually began. And apparently, Jodorowsky wrote the book, or wrote a screenplay that was going to be 14 hours long. He was going to split it up into, I believe, 3 movies. He's going to do a Hobbit. He was going to do what Peter Jackson did to The Hobbit, except here it makes sense because Frank Herbert's book, Dune, which is a fantastic book, I highly recommend anybody who's interested in sci-fi read it, is literally about 3 Bibles thick. There was so much shit in that one book. It's a fantastic book, though. But, oh my god, I just don't understand how it could get so far in production and then suddenly it falls apart. Luckily, though I haven't seen it yet, there's actually a movie about the making of this unmade film, too, called Jodorowsky's Dune. Just won a few awards, apparently.
What medium was that?
It's a documentary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a documentary that I haven't seen, and it has a lot of people that worked on it, like H.R. Geiger. Even Frank Herbert was interviewed, or they used like archival stuff because Frank Herbert was dead by this time, I think. And I really want to see it. They were going to.
Now I heard that
they were going to shoot it. They even had locations picked. They were going to shoot it in France, Switzerland, and the United Kingdom. They had actual locations picked where they were going to shoot this, and it just fell apart, and I don't quite understand why. Was it because Jodorowsky was taking too long? Ever since he started working on it in 1973, when Arthur P. Jacobs, the man who produced and brought us Planet of the Apes, wanted to make it, but then he died. So then Jodorowsky started making it, and then, you see, that's my guess. Because the movie already had cost $9.5 million before it was shut down. Like, Jodorowsky had raised $9.5 million on pre-production alone. I'm like, why wasn't this movie made?
Like, you already spend this much money, why not go all the way?
Go all the way? And then all of a sudden we have David Lynch's Dune that cost a record-shattering $40 million back at the time, and that was a huge flop. Dune was a huge flop when it came out because it never reached an audience. Now, of course, it's a huge cult hit, but and one of my all-time favorite films. But of course, according to some people on Toho Nation, that's not very hard to get on my top 10 favorite films list. But whatever.
Yeah, but I guess there may be some hope because I think I may have read or heard somewhere where there are some people who are looking to make an animated adaptation based on the original version of Dune.
Yeah, I would absolutely love to see this. I'll show you some of the artwork that was drawn up for Dune 1973. Unmade film. Some of the artwork.
Uh-huh.
Actually, I could just send you the link this way. and you can literally just scroll through it. I mean, it was a shit ton of work. A shit ton of work here.
Mm-hmm.
And like the most famous one that was actually released was a poster with a very Darth Vader looking villain on it. If you take a look at it.
Is that the second image?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And I'm really seeing the H.R. Geiger-esque designs here.
I mean, he had it look...
Oh, that is the one with the skull, and then he has a long tube, phallic tube behind him.
You see, these are all inspired so many other sci-fi films. Even the Death Star was slightly inspired by some of the designs of the ships that were going to be in this film. It was supposed to look very Asian, like Buddhist, with a mixture of medieval Gothic kind of styles. And it would have been very interesting to see, especially some of these interesting ship designs that...
Oh, yeah, I'm looking at the ship design. It's like almost like looks very similar to the Enterprise.
And all that great stuff. I mean, just looking at this shit, I'm like, what if this was made instead of the Dune that was actually made? Would it have been better? I don't know. Would it have been worse? I don't know, because apparently this didn't follow the source material very well. But apparently Frank Herbert approved the script more than the one for David Lynch's, which makes no goddamn sense whatsoever, because David Lynch actually followed the book pretty goddamn well, all things considered. He had to abridge a bunch of stuff, but it followed the book more. But I'm looking at all this artwork, and I'm like, how would that have worked on screen? Like, this would have been a motion picture of epic proportions. I mean, granted, David Lynch's Dune was as well, but this would have been much bigger, I believe, in terms of its scale.
So kind of like a modern-day epic, or like Cleopatra or something like that.
Something, maybe not quite that big, but it would have been... I think it would have been the event. I think this would have replaced Star Wars. I'll go that far. I do believe this would have replaced Star Wars, and this would have become Star Wars. I don't think Star Wars would have really been made if this was made. I don't even think Alien would have been made. I don't believe Terminator would have been made. I believe this would have... Just imagine how different the film industry could have been if this movie was made and not all those other smaller sci-fi films.
I think like I guess possibly maybe instead of having all these different franchises, we would just have like one super mega franchise that would have like numerous remakes or like spin-offs, animated TV shows, breakfast cereals, the works.
I'm going to show you some production work that was... This is what Baron Vladimir Harkonnen looked like in the movie version that we got, the David Lynch version, which was a very over-the-top performance, absolutely awesome at the same time, but very, very creepy. Very, very...
wow.
Very, very over-the-top. First off, I think the makeup is amazing on that.
Yeah.
But the...
It kind of reminds me of something out of like Total Recall or something.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. But here are some of the... Like, somebody drew an interesting image of what if Orson Welles had played Baron Harkonnen. And the thing with the Baron Harkonnen is that he's so fat he can't walk, and so he has to float. So that's why the Emperor, what's his name? I forgot. Something the Fourth. He calls him the floating fat man is because of that. And here is what somebody thought Orson Welles would look like as Baron Harkonnen. And I was like, yes.
Where's my toupee?
I think Orson Welles would have been fucking fantastic as the Baron Harkonnen because, one, he's fat already, and two, he has like that he has that presence anyways that could carry off like, this guy's gonna fuck your shit up.
You're such pests.
The only thing that I
there's no money that's worth this. No, seriously, there's no money whatsoever. We're spending too much. There's too much spending in here.
Oh, here's an image of like the Baron Harkonnen floating. Andres. Here's the one thing though that was always interesting. Baron Harkonnen was written to be a gay character. He's gay. Like, he has an obsession with his... He's basically a gross... And this is why Frank Herbert has been attacked for being homophobic. It's because of how he wrote Baron Harkonnen being this gross, disgusting creature of the night. That just molests children or something. It doesn't surprise me. But, yeah. I love the description in the book. The book describes him as a man that's so big and so large that his ankles could only support less than 3 times what he weighs, or something like that. Like, yeah, that gives a pretty good description of what was going on.
Yeah.
Oh, man, this would have been such an interesting film. I would be so curious to see what would have happened to the film industry. What would have happened to the film industry.
Right. Now, I imagine, like, if they ever ran with that animated movie, I really do want to see if they try to model the characters after their original actors.
Awesome. I would absolutely love that, and try to get voice actors that sounded like them too.
Oh yeah, well, obviously for Orson Welles, there's no better choice than Maurice LaMarche.
Oh God, that'd just be fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing like Orson Welles as early as like the Futurama.
Yeah. God damn, just wow. And like, what if this movie bombed? You know, like what would have happened to the sci-fi industry? You know what? Just imagine like some of the Godzilla stuff wouldn't have been made. Some of the like, you know, like some of the like Power Rangers stuff would have been different because a lot of them were inspired by Star Wars. Like if this was made, Star Wars probably wouldn't have been made.
Yeah.
Like, how different the world.
Gundam probably wouldn't be made because a lot of it is heavily based off of Star Wars.
How different the world as a whole would have been if this movie was made. Like, it doesn't matter if it was a hit or a flop. If this movie was made, because all these people would have been working on this movie and not all these smaller projects.
Right.
God,
well, maybe we would still have those good smaller projects, but they just wouldn't have those same looks to them. Like we wouldn't have the xenomorph with a penis head.
Either that, or they probably wouldn't have as big of a cultural impact. I don't think if this movie was made.
Yeah.
It would have been kind of a Logan's Run-esque scenario where that movie was a hit, but it didn't really become such a big deal until the 90s when it was kind of revisited and refound.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah.
And I'm going.
All right. All right, so for the movie that I wanted to talk about, this was a movie that I learned about, I want to say in Spanish class in high school, where I want to say it was high school, though it could be early on in college, where I was watching this documentary called Lost in La Mancha, which was a documentary about the making of a certain film that was never completed, called The Man Who Killed Don Quixote, which was going to be directed by Terry Gilliam, and it would have had Jean Rochefort as Don Quixote, and Johnny.
To be completely honest, I don't know if you do or not.
Neither have I. I was trying to look him up on Wikipedia, but let's see. Anything else? Anything I recognize him? I guess he's mostly like he's a guy who mostly works in foreign films.
Okay.
And
I was wondering if he was that guy from Brazil for a second, but he's not.
I'm not sure because Terry Gilliam directed Brazil.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I thought he was that guy from Brazil.
Let's see, what year was Brazil?
Mid 80s, I think.
Let's see. Just gonna do a little Wikipedia searching here. Oh yeah, 85.
85.
Let's see, is it 80? He is here? No, he is sadly not in Brazil.
I have no idea who he is.
Okay. Apparently, according to the way they make him out to be this really big actor in that Lost in La Mancha documentary. So as I mentioned, that guy Jean Rochefort, he was going to be Quixote, and Johnny Depp was going to be an original character by the name of, if I can find his name here, Toby Grissoni, and the film basically would have been it reminds me of this Frankenstein movie I've read about, where you have this guy who I guess time travels back in time and then meets Frankenstein and ends up becoming part of the whole story. And in this movie, you have Johnny Depp as Toby Grisoni, who is he's like what would you call it? Trying to read the story right here. I completely lost my my space. But basically, he's
well, considering the fact that this is Terry Gilliam, it fits.
Well, basically, he's this like modern day businessman who somehow gets thrown back in time. He's a marketing executive thrown back in time, and he meets Don Quixote and becomes his sidekick in place of that other character whose name I forgot, who normally he's like the fat guy who rides a donkey.
I just love that description. just
fat guy on the donkey.
Just freaking Orson Welles, just kind of like flopping around with this donkey underneath him. You could barely see the donkey.
There's no money that's worth this. Ah, hell, I need the funding.
Trying to make my own Don Quixote.
Can I eat the donkey afterwards? I hear they're quite delectable. And this movie was going to obtain a budget of $32.1 million.
Jesus Christ.
It quickly ran... Oh, yeah, it was a really elaborate project, judging by the documentary, where there was this big, elaborate dream sequence that involved like an army of life-sized wooden puppet soldiers. And it seemed very complex.
Sounds like
very impressive.
That sounds like Terry Gilliam. So,
and the project quickly ran into issues, especially when it came to the weather that they were. I forgot where they were filming, but I remember in that documentary there was this big, large desert canvas, and they were quickly filming some scenes between Johnny Depp and John Rochford. And quickly, there was this rainstorm, and it completely drenched the whole landscape, making the sand and the sky completely different from like the hours of shooting that they had.
No, I'm noticing a pattern with these epics trying to shoot in deserts. Because this had problems. Yeah. They had rain in the middle of a fucking desert. They were shooting the greatest story ever told, the story of Jesus. George Stevens was shooting that, and for the first time in 40 years, the desert had snow. It snowed in the desert. They were trying to shoot on the bridge on the River Kwai. They were trying to shoot this rain sequence, and suddenly it wouldn't rain at all.
Oh,
so the thing here is you can shoot on location fine, just don't make an epic and shoot on locations.
I mean, for God's sakes, if you're trying to shoot an epic in the desert, that's like 3, 4, 5 hours of footage right there.
The only one where it worked was Lawrence of Arabia.
So yes, this film was shot in Spain in 2000, and I guess pre-production went all the way back, or planning went all the way back.
Holy crap, that's recent. I didn't think of it. Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, and this is like right before, Johnny Depp became, the Johnny Depp that we all know for quite a long time now. And this is a project that started back in 1998 with pre-production, and they went through a lot of trouble to even get John Rochford, who I mentioned was, I guess, this big actor. And the weather itself, not only did it like change the landscape and making it look nothing like how they filmed it before, but it destroyed some of their equipment. They were delayed several times. John Rochford had a severe illness to where his doctors tell him that he could not ride horseback in the film. Like, he could not physically perform in that film, which made Terry Gilliam very worried. He's like, no, this is the man I want for my movie.
And a lot of oh Jesus, this sounds like Cleopatra all over again. We want Elizabeth Taylor. No, she doesn't want to be in the movie. She had a fucking heart attack. She oh my God, I love production hells. And a lot of his investors got worried. So like his investors were there on set, and so Terry Gilliam basically had to shoot whatever few scenes he could with Johnny Depp alone. I think it was mostly the scenes with Johnny Depp, like when he first came to like travel back in time to the past, and he's like, where am I? But in the end, it was kind of like this make it or break it move, where either you continue the film without Gene Rochford, or
have the project canceled, and the project was eventually shelved. And between 1998 and 2014, there have been 7 unsuccessful attempts of Terry Gilliam trying to get this project back on track, and they even had to change several of the main actors to play Don Quixote and Tony Grisoni. I think in 2008 he started preliminary work with Robert Duvall as Quixote.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
And let's see, Depp was still attached to play Grisoni, but because of his tight schedule, now being the huge megastar that he was, he had to leave the project and was replaced by Ewan McGregor.
Oh,
and
my excitement!
You're like,
excitement literally just.
And let's see, 2010, Terry Gilliam announced that the funding had collapsed, so once again it was shelved. And then in November 2014, it was reported that Don Quixote was once again in pre-production with John Hurt as Quixote. And
okay, my excitement
yeah. And Jack O'Connell as Grisoni. The filming supposedly is set to start in August of this year and will be released May 2016.
If it doesn't fall through. Poor Terry Gilliam.
I know, like, it seems like this is like his big pet project. It's like his baby that he wanted.
I have a fear that this movie's going to completely suck because of it. Like, have you ever heard about that?
Yeah.
It's like, that happened with quite a few films. What is, oh yeah, The Thief and the Cobbler.
Oh, no, not that movie. Oh, that breaks my heart just knowing that story.
That the whole backstory behind the making of the movie, or
the whole backstory.
I love how there's a petition going. I don't know if they've released it, but there's apparently like a director's cut of that movie, like what it would have been if he directed it.
The recobbled cut edition, I believe it was called.
Yeah, which has almost no dialogue in it whatsoever, and even because they weren't able to finish the animation, they just used a couple of storyboards for a couple of the scenes.
Yeah, and just like I forgot what he called them, animatics, I believe.
Yeah.
Just like the basic animation with like it's just animated pencil sketches, essentially.
It looked like the ending to Evangelion, but you know what? This one actually had a sad story to it, and this sounds so much like that because it was like this sounds like a huge dream project, and that was a huge dream project for him, for the director of The Thief and the Cobbler. So
was that a project from the 60s or the 70s?
The Thief and the Cobbler? No,
yeah.
It was released in the 90s.
No, I know it was released in the 90s, but like when did it start production?
That was in the early 80s, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I know Vincent Price was the villain, and he died before the movie was ever released.
And I know that was in the mid 80s because of Michael Jackson's Thriller. So
right, yeah, he was definitely still alive for that. I remember I have a bit of nostalgia for The Thief and the Cobbler. I just remember loving the animation because it was like quite bizarre. I don't know. I really,
to be honest, but
it's been like a good more than a decade since I've seen The Thief and the Cobbler. I know I still have it on VHS. I'm tempted to go back and actually check it out and just look at it, even if it is a mess of a story. If judging by the Nostalgia Critics review, but I do want to see it just to see that, and just to see it on a technical level.
Right. I mean, I guess if you like that kind of style of animation, which I feel like a hypocrite because it reminds me of the animation style from Hercules, and yet I adore that movie because of James Woods.
Oh yeah.
But it just never caught me as much. I really do want to watch the director's cut or whatever it was called there.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if they've released it on DVD. I don't know if that's just a fan edit. I don't know. But,
whatever. Right. So, yeah. So, The Man Who Killed Don Quixote, it was, a movie that I guess was a very ambitious film that just, a lot of unfortunate incidents happened that kept it from being made. And so even if Terry Gilliam's The Man Who Killed Don Quixote will hopefully eventually be released by May of 2016, his original vision with the actors he had in mind looks like we'll never see the light of day outside of Lost in La Mancha, that documentary covering that whole disaster.
Yeah. Huh. Well, I guess Don Quixote, just don't make a movie about Don Quixote or anything with Don Quixote in the title, because that makes like the fourth film that has Don Quixote in the title that just was never made.
I remember I saw this one adaptation. I think it was probably maybe like a TV movie made in like maybe the early 2000s. I can't, or maybe the late 90s, but I can't remember what version I saw that I also saw in my Spanish class. That I know, or I know for a fact I saw in my Spanish class. But I can't remember. I knew they used like digital effects when there was like that famous iconic scene with the Don Quixote fighting the windmill, and then it digitally morphs into a cyclops or a giant monster.
Yeah, I mean Don Quixote. Just don't make a movie about Don Quixote.
I mean, did it start out as a book?
Yes. Oh, it was I think it was a book. It might have been a play.
Don Quixote de la Mancha.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Because it's not a very complex story, right? Just a guy who, an old senile man who wants to go on an adventure.
Yeah.
Possibly harming quite a lot of people in the process.
They're just minor.
I'm going on an adventure!
Oh my god. You have Ian McKellen playing him?
Yeah. Oh boy. But you mentioned that you knew another lost Don Quixote project, right?
Yeah, that was the Orson Welles movie. Orson Welles actually shot some of it, but he just never got enough funding to actually make it, and then he died of a heart attack.
So this was an 80s project?
Well, it was very late in his career. I mean, he's been wanting to make it since the early 50s, and then he just never got the funding for it. But he made Falstaff, and Falstaff was a minor success, and then he kind of just had to go off because of his reputation with Hollywood and all that crap. It was just a project that's never been made. There's actually an interesting documentary called Orson Welles Presents Don Quixote, which is nothing but a mixture of the footage that he shot for the movie, which wasn't much, and storyboards that he made, and the script that he wrote, and so on and so forth. It's an interesting watch. I wish they'd put it on Netflix, because it's one of those kind of things that you think you'd find on Netflix.
So this is well into his shit-faced period of his life.
Yeah.
There's too much directing here.
I know how to deal with a difficult actor.
The Spanish champagne.
Oh, God.
Not quite as good as the French. This actor who plays Don Quixote is vintage dated. Leave my donkey alone.
Oh, God. God damn.
Oh boy. Did you ever have you seen any footage of that version of Don Quixote?
No, I haven't. And I feel obliged to. As an Orson Welles fan, I feel so bad that I haven't seen any of the footage that he shot for that.
Oh yeah, by the way, I know this has nothing to do with Lost Films, but last week I finally saw Citizen Kane for the first time.
What'd you think? What'd you think? What'd you think?
Pretty fucking brilliant.
I know!
I can't remember, but I know, was it the first movie to ever do that sort of thing where it's like the main story has already passed, but we're going to look at snippets of it from other people's perspectives?
It wasn't the first. I hate saying this was the first movie in terms of movies, because you never know, one movie could pop up that came out before. You never know. But it definitely popularized that kind of structure, and it definitely influenced film noir, because it was influenced a lot by a French cinema style called poetic realism that was very popular in the 30s, and Orson Welles was a fan of those kind of movies. They always had like unhappy endings, and they were very influential on film noir. And Orson Welles picked up on that, and him and the cinematographer. Yeah. The cinematographer, which unfortunately I forgot his name, for Citizen Kane, has a very important role in that film as well in terms of the look. It wasn't just Orson Welles. Forgive me for forgetting his name, but Orson Welles basically created film noir here in the States, because film noir is very American. It's a very American thing. But it was influenced by French poetic realism.
Right, and it was actually the term film noir was defined by the French.
Yes.
Who, like, to us Americans at the time, these like dark and gritty crime thrillers, we didn't have a specific term to categorize them. But when the French saw them after World War II, they quickly caught on, and they were themselves defined these as film noir, and eventually as Americans, we came to use that term as well, and we ended up, further defining it with neo-noir.
Yeah, it was very films such as like Daybreak, which was made in 1938, I believe. That was a very influential movie in terms of film noir. It was a poetic realist film, and it was very much so influenced on film noir.
But anyways,
now that we got that bit of film history out of the way,
but yeah, I saw Citizen Kane. I just want to say I can't remember, but I know for a fact that I've seen plenty of stories that do that, where they kind of look back on a certain character's life through, like, these little snippets or these little vignettes. But the closest I can think of at the moment is, like, I know it's not the same thing, but Rashomon, where I know it's the exact same story, but told through different perspectives. But it's sort of like that, where it's, again, different people who give their own takes on, certain characters.
Yeah, well, Rashomon was very influenced by American westerns. I don't know if that was part of the influence on the structure or not, but I know that Kurosawa was definitely heavily influenced by watching a bunch of American imports.
Yeah. Oh, funny enough, when I was watching Citizen Kane, I was looking for that shot from King Kong where you see the pteranodons or pterodactyls. Unfortunately, I guess I was just too wrapped up in the story to notice it. But I did want to know, was that Orson Welles playing every version of Charles Kane?
Yeah, he was only 25.
I know, I was like, wow, he looks so convincing in that makeup.
Yeah, I have to say, my favorite scene in that movie, I know now that we've completely gone off topic, my favorite scene is when Orson Welles goes apeshit after his second wife leaves him.
Yeah.
He just tears apart the room, and then suddenly he calms the fuck down, and just says Rosebud.
And walks out.
He just says he just says Rosebud.
Oh yeah, he does.
And then that fucking scene is so good.
Why, Lisa? Why you leave me?
It's like, I hate saying, like, this is the greatest movie ever made. And it's not my favorite movie, but I do say it is probably the greatest movie made.
Does it surprise you that people to this day, like, hold it up in high regards to where even when, the American Film Institute redid their top 100 greatest films of all time in 2007, they still play Citizen Kane at number 1.
That doesn't surprise me at all, because the movie is it's a masterpiece. Mm-hmm. It is a goddamn masterpiece. I mean, every shot in that movie is so good.
Also, you can't help but feel smug feel all high and mighty and smug when watching Citizen Kane. You're like, yes,
I'm watching high art.
High art, yes. Exquisite.
You've seen Lady from Shanghai, correct?
No. Was that another?
Yeah, that was an Orson Welles movie. I think you'd love.
Oh, okay, because the only other film I've seen of his is Touch of Evil.
Especially that fucking ending. The ending to Lady from Shanghai was so influential on American cinema after that you're going to watch and be like, oh, so that's where the trope started. Very noirish. Yeah. You'd love it, Andres.
Thank you very much, Adam. So I guess I'm not sure. I guess you've talked about Don Quixote, Orson Welles' Don Quixote, but was there another film that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to bring up my next two are epics, ironically. Epics that were never made. And I want to bring up...
Unsurprisingly.
Yeah, right. The one that I want to bring up first is the more unknown out of the two, which was... Are you familiar with Italian director Sergio Leone?
Yes, I have, but let's see. Which movies did he make?
He made, like, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, A Fistful of Dollars. Okay, he made those movies.
Okay, the spaghetti westerns. Yeah. Yes, okay, now I know him.
And well, he was probably the most known out of the spaghetti western directors, and he made genuinely great westerns.
Yeah.
And after he made a movie called Duck, You Sucker. It's Duck, You Sucker, as in duck.
Okay.
It's my personal favorite film of his, and it's definitely by definition an epic. It's about the Mexican Revolution.
Ooh, okay.
And after that, he got really interested, or he was interested in it ever since he made The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, but he just wanted to test out kind of an epic. And so he kind of did so, because he never wanted to direct Duck, You Sucker. He wanted Sam Peckinpah to direct it, which, oh god, that would have been interesting. But But he wound up directing it, and he said, well, if I can direct this, let's see if I can direct it. And he wanted to make a movie called Leningrad, The 700 Days, which is about the siege of Leningrad that took place during World War II. The Germans besieging the city of Leningrad literally for 700 days. And before he even had a script written, Sergio Leone was able to raise almost $40 million independently. Because people loved his movie so much. By not only he wanted this to be kind of because he was getting sick of the Cold War at the time, because it was stopping him from making movies, and to be honest, it's part of the reason why this movie was never made. He was raising money by not only the Soviet Union, he was going to use the Soviet troops as extras, which was very common back then. Dino De Laurentiis did it a lot.
Okay.
But he also had backing from American studios. I think it was MGM. A bunch of Italian studios. He had a bunch of independent stuff getting pulled into this movie.
Yeah.
And I want to describe to you what the opening shot would have been during the opening credits, because I heard this and I pictured it and I was like, oh, why wasn't this movie made? But this is all going to be one shot. One shot. It starts off in the city, in the streets of Leningrad. Panicked people, thousands of extras, running about in the streets, and suddenly you hear a sound of a bomb being dropped, and an explosion hits the street, and everyone takes cover. It would have been, said, the first credit pops up, and the camera starts pulling out. It's on a dolly, or some sort of dolly, like one massive crane. It almost like the opening shot for Touch of Evil. You know how extensive that opening shot was? It'd be something like that, but picture that on a grander scale. And it goes from one point of the city. The shot is the entire credits, which would have been about 3 to 4 minutes. And it just pulls out, and then all of a sudden you find yourself not far outside the city. You go through the trenches of where the Soviet troops are defending the city. And it keeps pulling back and pulling back and pulling back, and suddenly you're at the artillery station that the Germans have. And they're firing the cannons, and it slowly pushes in on this one cannon. And when it fires at the camera, the screen goes black, and there you see the title of the movie, Leningrad, The 700 Days. Nice. And it goes into the movie from there. And he wanted to make this gargantuan movie. And what wound up shutting him down was not only the flack that he was going to be getting because of how much, having to work with an American studio and the Soviets, that was a huge deal. But
right, because was this an 80s film?
It was going to be an 80s film, yeah.
Okay.
A very early 80s film. He wound up making Once Upon a Time in America, which was a huge bomb, but is now considered one of the greatest movies ever made.
Right, okay. So he wanted to make this movie involving both American and Soviet individuals.
Yeah, he was going to have he was going to have American actors, which is what he usually did in this Russian film.
And this is smack dab in the middle of that a Cold War.
Yeah, this was the beginning of the Reagan era. When that started happening. So another reason why this film wasn't made is because, lo and behold, Sergio Leone was walking home one day and boom, he had a heart attack.
Fuck.
He was a heavy eater and a heavy smoker and a heavy drinker. Sergio Leone. Genius man, though. Genius man. And he did want to direct this movie. It wasn't like Duck You Sucker where he said, nah, might as well do it. He wanted to direct this film. He wanted to direct it because it wasn't a Western. And he turned down directing The Godfather. Because of this film. And which also is part of why he wanted to make Once Upon a Time in America, to kind of capitalize on the success of The Godfather. Or the later Godfathers, kind of that American gangster thing. And if you watch Once Upon a Time in America, which is a breathtaking film, I think it's more beautiful than The Godfather, especially the director's cut of that movie. But we're not talking about that. But because he had a heart attack, he just didn't have the energy to make an epic. He wasn't going to pull a Nicholas Ray, who directed 55 Days at Peking. If you want to know the full story behind that, please watch my interesting review-analysis of that movie. But in short, Nicholas Ray had a heart attack and almost died, and knew he shouldn't direct an epic, but went and directed an epic anyways, and he collapsed on set and, again, almost died. Sergio Leone didn't want that to happen, so he's like, fuck! And all funding just got pulled out of this movie. He had, like, half the screenplay done. Ennio Morricone was already writing music for the movie. It was never scored or composed. He was still in the midst of writing it. And he had nearly 7,000 extras on board already. And it just never got made. And I just would have loved to have seen it, because Duck You Sucker was on the verge of David Lean's territory, or David Lean levels of big, in terms of how the movie looked. And I just would have loved to have seen Sergio Leone make a true gigantic epic.
Right.
Especially with how beautiful he works with that cinematographer, and I forgot his name, but he shot he shot The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. He shot Once Upon a Time in the West, and of course Once Upon a Time in America. Goddamn, would have been a glorious movie, I think.
Now, has there been any sort of like a documentary or any sort of surviving footage, any sort of material that survived that's available for public consumption of that film?
Not really. There's just storyboards. The only reason why I know about this is because I read an autobiography. I forgot the name off the top of my head, and I really feel sorry about that. But I read an autobiography of... Is it an autobiography? The one that somebody else wrote it about them. I don't know if that's an autobiography or a biography.
Biography.
Okay, it's biography. I read a biography of him, and there is a huge part of the book devoted to Leningrad, the 700 Days.
Yeah.
I mean, he had tanks, he had everything. He had a whole shit and caboodle just sitting there, and suddenly he had a heart attack. Yeah. I think James Coburn was going to be the main character.
Mm-hmm. And they couldn't find another director to make the film?
I don't think anyone really could have.
Because
Sergio Leone has a very distinct way, a very distinct thing. I think somebody else could have done it, but it wouldn't have been. It still would not have been Sergio Leone. The only reason why he was able to get, and this was in the book, the only reason why he was able to raise $40 million was because
of him. It was going to be him.
It was going to be him directing it. Yeah.
So this was like his project that no one else really could have touched, I guess.
At the time,
like,
yes.
It's a
I know that sounds really smuggish. I know that sounds really smuggish, but it's not. He was like the person in charge.
Yeah, kind of like if, Quentin Tarantino wants to make a movie, it's going to be, that's his project from the ground up. If he were to somehow suffer from health problems or was prevented from filming it, I'm assuming that, like, most likely no one else would want to take up his director's chair, take up the role of director for a Tarantino production,
right? And the same thing happened here. Basically, the money just shriveled up. He returned most of the money that he
wow.
I think there was 10 million, or he returned. I think it was like 10 million of the other dollars. I think 10 million of it.
Yeah.
And basically, what happened was a lot of that money wound up getting rolled over into Once Upon a Time in America with Robert De Niro and James Woods, and he made that, which was still a big movie, but on a much less of a scale than Leningrad would have been.
I see. So let's see. I guess, are we ready to move on?
Yes, let's move on.
Okay, so for the last project, I wanted to bring up a film that's actually was going to be... It was released in 1990... This movie was released in 1992. It was a live-action animated film directed by Ralph Bakshi, and I think it was the last big film that he ever made, and it was a huge theatrical bomb, and that movie is the infamous Cool World.
Cool World?
Now,
I've never heard of this
Cool
before.
World. I'm quite surprised, but then again, you weren't even aware of Wizards until we made that commentary.
Yeah, well, this is
and
true.
This is about as weird and fucked up. Take Roger Rabbit,
okay,
combine it with Wizards, and you have Cool World. because it's like I mentioned, it's like Roger Rabbit. This came out 1992, and Roger Rabbit I believe was 1989, but it was like very close to the release date, like after Roger Rabbit. And let's see, I'm reading the story from Wikipedia. It tells us. This movie also stars Kim Basinger, Gabrielle Byrne, and Brad Pitt.
Oh my god.
And so, it tells the story of a cartoonist who finds himself in the animated world he thinks he created and is seduced by one of his characters. And this character that he created, named Holly Wood, get it?
Oh god.
And she wants to be a real live action person. So I guess in this weird fucked up cartoon world or cartoon dimension, the rules are that if you have sex with a human, you become live action yourself. But apparently that's against the rules. That's against the rules in the cartoon world, because I guess if you have if like any live action person have sex with a cartoon, then I guess like reality itself just collapses. And then the plot just gets more fucked up from there on out. Like, nothing makes sense. A lot of these cartoon rules are just like pulled out of their asses. There's just like the logic makes no sense, even if it is a cartoon logic world. But it's just a complete mess of a film. There's just like randomness for the sake of randomness.
This sounds unbelievably painful.
I'd say it's in terms of quality, it's exactly like Wizards, where it's just weird, it's fucked up, it has some very interesting ideas and very interesting visuals, but altogether it's just one big clusterfuck of a production, and no one gets out of this alive. Like I mentioned, I think this was like the last project that Ralph Bakshi made. Even if he did make any more projects, I want to say this is his last big theatrical one. And I think I've mentioned this before on the podcast, where I've had a lot of respect for Ralph Bakshi.
Yeah.
As someone who tried to bring animation to a more mature audience with films like Wizards, American Pop, Fritz the Cat, Heavy Traffic, Hey Good Looking, Fire and Ice, Lord of the Rings, if I haven't mentioned that already. I guess the world just what back then, and even still today, just isn't ready for mature animated films. Even if his films are questionable in their quality in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, I have the same opinion, Andres. It's like, I respect the man. Don't think I don't. It's just
yeah. I think he tried to go about it the wrong way.
Yeah.
It's like, I know there's mature, but then there's immature.
The animated Lord of the Rings movies aren't bad. They're not bad.
Right.
They're not too good, but they're not bad.
So the reason why I brought up this movie was because in 1990, Ralph actually had a different idea for the film, where it was going to be an animated live-action horror film, and the concept of the film would have involved a cartoon and a human still having sex, but they would have conceived a hybrid child who visits the real world to murder the father who abandoned her.
I was going to say, they're probably rotoscoped.
I was thinking that rotoscope, yeah, because I've seen some of his early films where they would have animated characters in rotoscope, and it just looks weird, incredibly weird. I mean, like there is what do you call it, the Max Fleischer Superman shorts where that is rotoscope, but it looks really good rotoscope. Also, the Disney movies like Snow White or what else? Sleeping Beauty, that also uses rotoscope, but again, it looks very nice and fluid, and it blends well with the animated world around those characters. But looking at Ralph Bakshi's use of rotoscope, it just looks so weird and awkward, and it would have been really interesting to see that used in this horror
film. I keep forgetting
film.
that Snow White was rotoscoped.
Well,
actually, a lot of Disney was rotoscoped if you look at it.
Right, but I feel like it's really well done to the point where you wouldn't immediately notice that those movements were based off of a live action body double, I guess you can call it,
right?
Or a model.
Well, looking back at the Max Fleischer, I can tell that they were rotoscoped just by how smooth they're moving.
Yeah. So Ralph Bakshi, he brought this idea to Paramount Pictures, and they quickly bought it up. And I guess they were making the movie. They were hiring actors, and let's see. I think one of the biggest issues was Kim Basinger. Basinger or Basinger? I know I'm stealing a bit from Family Guy. Basinger. But anyways, this was like a year after Batman came out, and she had quite a lot of star power and a lot of influence over the production.
Right.
So yeah, this was like back in if you can imagine it, this is a world where Kim Basinger had a lot more star power than Brad Pitt did back then.
Right.
So, but yeah, I believe she was the one who influenced influenced the production to change it from a hard R-rated story into a PG-13 film, and also the Paramount Pictures, they also wanted a more PG-13 a PG-13 film, which kind of really heavily impacted the story itself. Right. And let's see, I think Bakshi originally intended to have Drew Barrymore as opposed to Kim Basinger, and let's see, I guess it's because of that huge influence that the story itself was completely changed from its original premise of being a horror film. And so now I guess I want to say it's possible that this mess of a film was made by having just too many hands in the cookie jar.
Right. Well,
and so I'm very interested in just seeing how I'm just from being just a fan of animation in general, just seeing how that concept of human cartoon hybrid would have worked, and just how that story would have played out.
Well, it sounds like a goddamn mess, and I can't help but enjoy messes in a guilty way.
Yeah. Imagine we one of these days on Shuwatch we just have a surprise commentary on Cool World.
Oh God, I don't know. I barely made it through. I fucking barely made it through.
Cool Wizards.
Yeah, Wizards. So.
And, oh yeah, I still remember your reactions when you were recognizing every single war film that you loved being bastardized through rotoscoping. All those beloved actors you knew and loved were suddenly horribly shaded and added.
I immediately
popped
in El Cid and was like, "Save me, Charlton Heston, save me."
Why do I have horns and wings? This makes no sense.
I just watched a movie today where he played Michelangelo. He did really good at that.
You want me to paint the roof now, do you?
Yeah, that's exactly what the movie's about.
Oh no, it wasn't a roof, it was a ceiling. Fine, I'll paint it with naked men. Just to fuck with you.
And Rex Harrison was in it, and he too kind of does the he doesn't go he goes meh. so it's just like
the people who are working at the chapel are like, what the fuck is going on? Oh, don't worry, they're just painting the ceiling.
What the fuck is they're painting the ceiling.
I was gonna say, that's not very Catholic-like. Well, you gotta wonder, with a painting like that featured as much, nudity as the Sistine Chapel, I wonder how he was able to get away with that.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe it's like, I am making art, that's why it's okay.
I must say, he doesn't grunt once in that movie, and I was like, oh! So it's my turn again, is it?
Oh yeah, I think this may be your last turn.
Yeah, this is
go around.
My last movie.
Yeah.
Which is probably
the most.
This is definitely the most known out of all the ones that I'm going to talk about. So you're aware of Stanley Kubrick, correct?
Oh, yes, I believe I am.
Oh. Well, did you know that before he made Barry Lyndon, he wanted to make a movie about Napoleon Bonaparte?
I see. That's not quite surprising, considering how much of a famous icon he is in history.
Yeah, Stanley Kubrick has always had a fascination with Napoleon Bonaparte, as I do, and so he wanted to make a movie about Napoleon, a grand, huge, sweeping epic about Napoleon. Once again, utilizing Soviet troops and all that shit. And
oh boy!
Now Stanley Kubrick actually got a lot further than Sergio Leone did. There is actually a book, I mean a thick-ass book, written about all the production notes, all of the whole script is in it, everything about this movie. There is a lot you can find about this film, about Napoleon. And there's one reason why it wasn't made. In 1970, there was a big, gigantic epic that dealt with Napoleon that I absolutely love and adore, directed by Sergei Bondarchuk, who directed the Russian version of War and Peace, made in 1968. This movie starred Rod Steiger and Christopher Plummer and Orson Welles, and it was called Waterloo. Now, as much as I love that movie was a gargantuan box office bomb.
Right.
And because of that, I think it was 20th Century Fox, anyway, the company that was financing Napoleon, flat out pulled out. And Stanley Kubrick lost all funding for the movie. And like snap of the fingers, the movie suddenly could not be made. And Stanley Kubrick was like, well, god damn it! I did all this research for nothing! Oh, wait a minute. So he made a movie called Barry Lyndon, which I hate. Barry Lyndon is kind of what the tone of Napoleon was supposed to be like, which scares me because I don't like that movie at all.
Yeah.
But I still would have loved to have seen his take on Napoleon, because a lot of it was kind of made into an A&E TV miniseries called Napoleon as well, because what that TV show did pulled a lot of the notes and a lot of the information and influence of Stanley Kubrick's movie and made it into that. I think it was released in the early 2000s, and made it into a 4-part miniseries, each part being an hour and a half. And I adore that miniseries. I have it on my computer. I fucking love that miniseries. It's so good. But yeah, Stanley Kubrick wanted to go all out with this movie. He wanted it clearly to be a huge epic. He wanted it to be an epic on the levels of Spartacus, because he directed Spartacus, only this time he'd have directorial control. He would have total control over production. Unlike that mess that was Spartacus, where the only reason why Stanley Kubrick directed it was because he wanted to get out of a deal that he had with Kirk Douglas.
I see.
Kirk Douglas was, by all means, I think, the overall director of that movie. I think Stanley Kubrick just kind of sat back and yelled action in that film. But this would have been like, whoa. This would have been like a huge color film, 7.1 surround sound. Like, this is going to be the first movie to do that. This was going to be an epic of all epics. The epic to end all epics. And I am very curious and wanting to know how it would have been made, especially with like that Stanley Kubrick traveling shot. You know, he always has like the characters walking and the camera follows them. I would have loved to have seen him do a battle scene like that. I mean, we did get that in Paths to Glory, but I mean on an even bigger scale with widescreen and shit. I would have loved to have seen his attention to detail there. He had a lot of costumes made for the movie. He didn't get it casted, I don't believe. I don't believe he had the movie casted. But the screenplay was very, very... It went through his life, Napoleon's life. The movie probably would have been split into two. The movie, according to the screenplay, would have been roughly 6.5 hours long. So a very long movie. Probably would have been split into two films, much like Cleopatra. Should have been. But yeah, that's Napoleon, and my God, that's the movie I want to see really bad. That was never made.
Yeah. Oh boy, yeah, it's unfortunate when these very talented filmmakers come along and they have this like pet project that or this their baby, their their passion, this is something that they want to bring to life, and unfortunately through many circumstances, be it financial issues or just health reasons or just any sort of random stuff that may occur, or studio interference, and in the end these projects just get lost in the sands of time. But hopefully, as the years and decades go by, hopefully there are just people like you and me who are so unhealthily obsessed with these works that will still keep these projects in the view in the minds of further generations.
Like if I said by some miracle somebody approached me and said, Adam, I want you to make a Napoleon movie, this is the first thing I'd go to. It would literally be the first thing I'd go to. But Stanley Kubrick was very influenced by a French Impressionist film made in 1928, or 27, sorry, directed by Abel Gance, called Napoleon, which was a 9-hour fucking movie. 9 hours. And it didn't even cover Napoleon. It didn't even cover Napoleon's whole life. It just covered the first quarter of it. And I'm like, you were supposed to make 6 of those movies? What the fuck?
Sacre bleu.
Sacre bleu.
What is the bullshit?
Which, unfortunately, there's about 3 hours of the movie missing that we don't know where it is. But Stanley Kubrick was very influenced by that, kind of like how Samuel Bronston, who made films like 55 Days of Peking, El Cid, all these grand epics, was influenced by it. But Stanley Kubrick saw that movie when he was a kid, and he was like, I love this man. And was like, ever since he saw that movie, it was like he was obsessed with Napoleonic history, obsessed with the character of Napoleon. And that's essentially what this movie would have been one giant character study.
Now, to cap off this episode of Shuwatch, do you believe it is possible, with this animated version of Dune that supposedly is coming out in the near future, do you think it's possible for these lost projects to see the light in some way, shape, or form, even like decades after they've been lost to the sands of time?
You mean like being made into a movie?
Yeah, be made to a movie, or like being re-envisioned by another person's work who wants to do their best to be as faithful to the original material as much as they could. Like, again, similar to another example, like Steven Spielberg's AI.
Oh yeah. I don't really think so in the case of Dune. I mean, I want Peter Jackson to make a Dune trilogy, but I don't think that's going to happen. Jodorowsky's Dune, I think, is just going to be known for that movie that was never made, because for reasons like very hard to explain to me. But Napoleon, I think there will always be something that'll come up, because in a way, Stanley Kubrick's Napoleon was greenlit, and that was with that Andy TV miniseries, which was a very ambitious miniseries. And that used, again, a lot of the notes from Stanley Kubrick's project. So it kind of got greenlit there, but it still wasn't, Stanley Kubrick's Napoleon. I really don't think so, to be honest, in my books, because all the projects that I've listed were really big, like the director was the reason why the movie was going to be made.
Right. And I guess with that example I brought up with AI, I guess even though that project belonged to another big director, it had to take a director of equal or greater power influence in order to get it made in the first place.
Right. It was originally supposed to be directed by Stanley Kubrick, but then he died.
Yeah.
So,
he has to go up and die on us.
God damn it.
Thanks, Kubrick. What a jerk. Fucking leaving this existence without us.
God damn it. Fucking asshole. Selfish prick.
I know. But, yeah, like I mentioned before, hopefully there will still be people like you and I and even people with, who much greater credentials than us, who are willing to help pass this information along from generation to generation.
Like Kevin Smith.
And with that said, yeah, hopefully. Although I doubt Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith's Napoleon.
Hey man, I just want to make a movie, with a short guy who's deal with short people problems. Maybe he'll smoke weed just to get by every day,
Smoke weed every day.
Maybe I'll throw a fucking walrus in there. Who knows?
Yes. Yes.
Then you'll have fucking Napoleon played by Ralph Garman or whatever, somebody who's like really inappropriate for the role.
Yeah.
But with that said, we have come to the end of another episode of Shuwatch Super Dynamic Ultra Force Go. I have been your host, Andres Perez. Just be on the lookout for my upcoming review for Godzilla vs. Biollante. And, of course, further episodes of Shuwatch and Kaiju's Corner with Deadpoolzilla as well. And be sure to check out the Sons of Serizawa Network homepage. You can check us out on Toho Nation, where you can meet other Godzilla fans like ourselves and many, many more like us. And all around, just be sure to check out the Sons of Serizawa podcast on Zazubar's channel every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I have nothing to pimp out, which is surprising.
So, as stated before, I've been your host, Andres Perez, a.k.a. KaijuNoir.
And this is Adam Noyes of AN Productions.
And until next time, everybody, take care.
Bye. Bye-bye! Okay.
Bye.
David section.
Because he has to leave in like half an hour.
Early shift. So I found this Jun Fukuda interview that Adam spoke of.
Yes. I know. If you guys would discuss that right now, I have to pee like a mofo.
Okay. Wait, does it involve... Can you do a word search and see if Jaguar's involved?
On the interview?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see what his thoughts were. It's like,
don't give a shit.
I don't
Let's
fucking
care.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Here's one of the questions he was asked. Like, which one of the science fiction films you directed are your favorites? He says, none of them. And then the next question, which of the Godzilla films you directed are your favorites? None of them. And the next question, are there any which you are especially unhappy with? Many, which is basically all of them. Jeez. he hates the Godzilla films he made, but they're my favorite ones. So ironic.
Just to let you know, I'm eating right now.
So you're the one eating the chips.
No, I wasn't eating it right now. That was just a paper.
Oh,
Is that the sound effect you
I
were
was hearing
hearing?
something of that nature.
Okay.
Andres.
Yeah, before we started recording, I got Subway for my sister. Okay, I got Subway for my sister and I, and she was just here getting her sandwich.
Isn't a Subway a sub, not a sandwich?
Same difference. I don't know what that phrase means, but apparently that's something that people use.
I'm gonna go with it. I caved in and I bought Latitude Zero and Orochi, the Tokyo Shock versions.
For fuck's
78
sake,
bucks.
David. For fuck's sake,
I had
David.
to get them.
No, you don't. What you had to do was save up money for fucking G-Fest. Now here you are buying more DVDs.
Some people are addicted to crack. So I'm addicted to this.
Adam can't even go because he doesn't have money in the first place. Here you are actually making money and you're wasting
a little bit of money.
$75.
$78.
If that was a little bit of money to me, I would be going to G-Fest no problem. Like I'm staring at this $14.95 5-disc set for War and Peace 1968, a DVD set that was just released here in the United States for the first time, that has the original 8-hour cut of War and Peace, fully restored, fully subtitled, with shit tons of special features and an epic audio commentary. And I can't buy it because I can't afford it. You jackass.
Was it on Blu-ray? I'm Googling it right now.
It's no, it's DVD.
You buy DVDs, right? So you dig up dinosaur bones.
That was the first thing you said when we went into the fucking into the Jurassic Park ride.
No, I didn't.
Wait, was it you, me, or Bill?
It was Bill.
Bill?
He knows that line better than I do.
Discussing the topic now? What the fuck is going on?
Okay, let's. I'll use that as a segue as we get back from the musical break. But yes, we are back with the second section. I decided. Well, I guess. I decided that because due to the recent events that took place in L.A., that I feel like this is a time where I guess David and I should catch up on and share with you, the audience, exactly what happened with during the SOS Go Hollywood event.
Half of SOS.
Damn it, David! That was 3/5.
You knew what I meant.
No,
Yes!
I never understand what the fuck you're saying.
Chaos theory. That's chaos theory.
God damn it, David! You stupid motherfucking pile of shit.
Oh, Andres.
You just continue. David, man, I love you, man, but for God's sakes, the things you make me feel, man.
That's something so wrong.
I know.
It's like,
You see, that's chaos theory.
Yeah,
How you
chaos
like
theory.
that, David? Chaos theory.
the things you
Fucking
make
chaos
me
theory.
feel.
I'm taking chaos theory and I'm throwing it back in your face, David.
That's all right. I'm trying to enforce it as much as possible. As a matter of fact, I'm this close to changing the title of my McDonald's to Chaos Theory.
Fuck's sake. If I ever put titles, if I ever did titles for Shuwatch, I would call this episode For Fuck's Sake,
I don't know
David.
why I'm excited for this. Because I'm not excited for this at all. But I might have to work at McDonald's this summer to earn some extra cash to help pay off my medical bills. And I'm thinking about starting a show with David and I called Shit Behind the Counter.
I like that.
I like that. I'm in.
And for the theme song, you gotta go with Peter Griffin singing "Ding, fries are done, ding, fries are done, ding, fries are done. I gotta run. Don't touch the French fry grease because it's really hot."
Andres, what's the first thing we ate when we got to LA? McDonald's.
Wait, hold on.
The closest thing
If
there
I
was.
work at
Was it
at
McDonald's?
I could not eat McDonald's because I work there. It literally would come down to that.
Much like how when I used to work at Not Soak City, I didn't attend Soak City because I worked there, despite all the the water slides and whatnot. But anyways, wait for the bell, can't hear the bell, ding, fries are done, ding, fries are done.
Oh, by the way, did you guys hear that I was damned to hell?
No, I haven't. Oh no, you told us, but I didn't actually see anything happen.
Yeah, I was damned to hell by somebody on the Godzilla Saga page because of the Godzilla Saga logo
with a little crown of thorns similar to Jesus.
Yes, and I was damned to hell by somebody from.
You know what you should have responded with? That picture of the Jesus statue smiling and winking.
No, I posted the picture of Gamera with the cross on his chest, and I said here like this. Oh God, but man, I'm like, really? I love how this guy is going after that and not the fact that I'm gay.
Yeah. Oh boy. As a born-again Christian, I have to say that your shit offends me, and rather than doing a sensible thing of ignoring it and continuing on with my miserable life, I'm going to explain why I'm offended by you in order to make myself feel superior despite my small penis.
Oh my God.
At which point you should have responded with that.
That took a second to sink in.
Buddy Christ.
That's him. That's the Christ. I've always pictured Jesus kind of being like that. That cool guy. He's like, I don't care. Just
Hey, Jesus, man. Hey, he just made a bunch of wine for us. Thanks, man.
Usually I respond to things that make no sense to the subject at hand. Like this. This is my template. Andres knows.
swag. I know. Oh my God! I know somebody that has that kind of bed. I know somebody.
That's what's gonna.
I know somebody who has that kind of bed. I used to sleep in it whenever I spent the night at his house, and he was the first crush I ever had. But anyways,
that's gonna happen as soon as if I ever go to Las Vegas and David takes me to his room. That's gonna be just that.
I have so much
swag.
shit for Shuwatch After Hours this episode.
If with your guys' permission, I'll just put this part for Shuwatch After Hours.
You gotta include the picture, Andres. Swag.
Swag.
I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? Okay. That's good.
Oh boy. So let's see. Are you guys ready?
That's good. Yeah.